Holy fuck. Okay, this is far, far back. Man. It surprises me how much shit happened in this last arc, or in Arc 5. To come all the way back here when we first fell back into the hole again. But yeah, so now we get to start picking each of the characters. So I'm thinking I'm going to go from the character that I don't really connect with that much to the one that I potentially like the most. So first one will be Gidget, because didn't really, well, I mean, at the beginning of Arc 1 I kind of liked her, but then once we got into Wonderland, yeah, definitely did not like her after what she did to poor Riggy. I mean, like, I'm sorry, I just realized I was misgendering them, so sorry, but yeah, I know Gidget was trying to still figure themselves out and was, yeah, having to struggle with, the fact that they're, like, I think they're non-binary, aren't they? But yeah, was trying to figure themselves out of that whole ordeal, and then also the pressures of societal norms and all that, but still doesn't excuse for sexually assaulting somebody. Especially how far it ended up getting. So, you know. But, yeah, anyway. But, if those of you that do like Gidget, don't feel too bad. That's just my opinion on the character. And you're allowed to have your own opinions on the characters, and also your own favourites, so don't let me sway your choices and whatnot. Just like I swayed Iggy's here. And just like Iggy, you're allowed to make your own choices. Without getting everyone else involved in them. Anyway, Gidget. Let's jump instinctively to Gidget. Of her lips on mine. The way her eyes tremble whenever she looks at me. Gidget. Pain and guilt stabs at my heart. All the things I said to her. There's something there, beneath the mask she wears, mask I forced her to wear. I mean, we weren't the only one. I mean, her parents definitely had a big say in all of it too. She and I had cared about each other, cared for each other, had meant something to each other. My words had always gotten in the way. If only I could tell her. I don't know. It's all so confusing. I don't know what I want. Press my hands to my eyes harder and harder. Why can't I? Why can't I? Body kills in on itself. Heart beating, beating, beating. Just leave me alone. Now, I think we've already read through all this, so we'll fast forward to when we get other choices and whatnot. Now we haven't tried picking yet. Okay, I think we had done our own body heat, but let's try using our shirt instead this time. But when we go back to doing Genzo's one, we'll go back to doing body heat, but let's use our shirt. Don't exactly have a lot on me, but I do have my shirt. Got two of them after all. It's not much, but hopefully it will help. Shrug out of my outer shirt and let it carefully top Genzo's form. Feels a bit silly, to be honest. What good will it actually do? Just sitting on top of his coat like that. But I have hope. Every little bit helps, right? Just need to make sure he stays warm. When I'm back over to my previous spot and sit down with a thump. Chill is stronger. Poking at my arm's neck. I scoot a little closer to the fire. Hope I don't get sick from this. Don't worry, it's going to be the least of our worries. Then I slide my arms around my chest. Anxiety is raging in my stomach. I had thoughts about what will happen if he doesn't wake up. Something attacks us in the night. I freeze to death. But I try to quell them by staring into the fire. Letting them get lost in the dancing flames. Everything will be alright. It has to be. At some point, I begin to slouch. Let myself tip over to the side. Ground is rough beneath my cheek. I don't pay it any mind. Just staring. Staring into the fire. Eyes flutter closed before I even realize it. Soon I drifted off into restless sleep. Assuming waking up's gonna be a little different too, potentially. Woken to the feeling of something on my nose. Itchy, scratchy tingle dancing atop the skin. I scrunch up my face, furrow my brows. When it doesn't relieve me of vexing sensation, I pop a hand up to dash it away. A bug of some sort. That's enough to rouse me from my stiff-back stupor. With my eyes open, allowing the light to filter in. Everything is sideways. I groan. Whole body aches. When I sit up, crumbles of dirt stay painted to the side of my cheek. Rise and shine, sleepy beauty. Rub at my eyes, my face, my neck. And glance down to see Genzo's coat covering my waist and legs. Oh, you returned the favor. How sweet, Genzo. I was like 50 shades of confused because Genzo coughs and looks away. You were shivering something awful in your sleep, so I thought I blink. Memories of the night prior are starting to drift back to my mind like bubbles in the breeze. Oh, right. Snap back with a start, but you needed... Pick a sentence and stick with it, why don't you? Genzo just laughs. I feel shame smarting on my cheeks. I mean, I got a good laugh out of it when I woke up. The shirt, I mean. The thing's as thin as a sheet. Hey, it's the thought that counts, okay? A pause. But, thanks. I can tell you tried. Thank you. At least somebody appreciates my work. Running an awkward hand through my hair and pushing myself to my feet. Alicia is laying neat and folded a few feet from the fire. Still feeling like a hopeless wreck of a human being, I grab it and slide it back over my shoulders. Some help I turned out to be. I tried to take care of him, but he ended up taking care of me like usual. I wander towards Genzo and attempt to work out the kink in my neck. Sitting near the fire, low and crackly, looks like he's put a few new sticks in it. Legs, though, you okay? Okay, and we already read through all this, so... Oh yeah, Iggy Dolls! Yeah, but let's say, you're being ridiculous to this. No, you're being just ridiculous. You never did anything like that. As you say. Besides, she remembers everything now too, right? She knows all the messed up stuff that happened before. Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. Yeah, definitely. You guys don't know the half of what you're getting into either. Hey, come on. What was all that loser stick together stuff from back on the boat, huh? Genzo sighs, see his face soften in acceptance. Yeah, I did say that, didn't I? With my hands to his shoulders with an encouraging pat. Come on, let's go bag another one of our losers. Let's start towards the main entrance. Yeah, Genzo winces, but follows me after me all the same. Goddamn, Meeks. Why is he so low there? I'm sorry, but that was so funny. Just seeing his little hat just slide on by. Oh, that is so fucking hilarious. Goddamn, Iggs, do you ever listen to some of the things you say? No, he doesn't. And then we're on to this one. We're gonna side with the Gidget on this one, seeing as we are going for her ending. It's only fair that we side with her. Happens before I can stop myself. Put a hand out to Genzo's sleeve, giving a shameful tug backwards as I rise to my feet. No, she's right. say with only the slightest shudder in my voice. Right? How the hell is any of what she's saying your fault, huh? Kenzo balks. No, it's... All of a sudden I find myself unable to speak. Throat goes tight as a vice. I feel tendrils of heat spread across my cheeks, my face, my neck. Kenzo just blinks, waiting for me to continue. As across from me, Gidget raises her brows. But try as I might, I just can't speak. Press my lips together. Drop my gaze to my hands. Fingers are trembling out of control and I clasp them together to try and silence them. Sorry, I finally managed to croak. And I quickly fall back down into my chair, ears bumping against the table painfully in the process. Run my hands to my face, rubbing my eyes. Why is it so hard? If I try to say something serious, something important, why do I completely cease functioning like a capable human being? He slumps back into his own chair. I spy him watching me incredulously, brows quirk in concern. Gidget continues to watch me, blinking. Something I can't read on her face. Before finally she yawns. Your unfettered emotions tire me. I must rest. And I think, yeah, we already done all this. With... Okay, I don't know why it's glitched out like that, but it's so fucking funny just seeing their little heads pop around. Yeah, seems me skipping through all this is making it glitch a little bit, like where we had just all those little hats roaming around at the bottom there. Okay, let's go talk to Gidget. Something I can not even myself understand, turns my feet in the direction of the overlook. Make my way towards the end of the cave, eyes squinting momentarily as the light of the moon overtakes my vision. Outside it's beautiful. I suck in a small gasp as I climb out onto the overlook, full breadth of the view hitting me all at once. The cave is built into the side of the cliff. On the overlook, you can look out across the lower level of the forest beyond. The dark dunes of the treetops spread out for miles in both directions, hitting the surface of the lake. Above our heads, the sky opens. An elephantine expanse of stars and galaxies gazing back down at us. And the moon at its center, huge and milky and white, glows like a firefly ready to be plucked from the blue and gazed at. From all that blue, gazed at between softly parted fingers. Gidget must hear my startled breath, because they turn with a start, eyes widening briefly before flicking away. Sorry. Were you looking for me? I was gonna come right back in. I shook my head. No, I saw you out here, so I thought I'd... Our voices fall. Silence staining the dirt beneath our feet. And finally, do you, want to come sit? Sure. Gidget scooshes over atop the boulder they'd been using as a perch, making room for me to join. I take a seat next to them, pulling my knees in against my chest. Both of us stare out across the landscape, moon colouring our faces. Just needed some fresh air, that's all, Gidget says, her voice soft. It's really beautiful. Yeah. I pause. You doing okay? I mean, with your shoulder and all? It still aches a bit, but it's better at least. See. Gidget brings their hands together, see them shifting their thumbs against each other. First right over left, then left over right. Sorry, I finally say. Sorry for what? I mean, it's my fault after all. Huh? Scratch my head sheepishly. I'm really sure I consider most of what people do down here their fault. It doesn't seem to help matters much. My Gidget's face seems to grow even more dour. Gaze drops into their hands, eyes strained. What? I blink. Let's part, then close, then part again. I did a lot of really awful things to you. Yeah, you did. I'll just look at them for a moment, eyes wide, turn away. I don't even remember all of it. This place, it warps you to the point that you start to lose yourself. Lose who you are. Yeah, we've also noticed that. They lean forward, resting their elbows on their knees. Everything's like a jumbled up kaleidoscope in my mind. Try to bring a memory into focus, but just twist into something new. I mean silent, just staring out across the darkened treetops. But that doesn't change what I did. What you had to go through because of me. Sigh. Remember the rage. God, I remember the rage. And the resentment, the jealousy, the bring a hand to their forehead, jaw clenched, the entitlement. See their fingers shaking. In the beginning, it wasn't as bad, but it kept growing. Even though part of me knew it was wrong, I couldn't stop it. Like this thing growing inside of me, whispering inside my head, blurring my thoughts. Rest my cheek on my knee, fingers clasped around my ankles. My own chest feels heavy, conflicting thoughts battling at the base of my consciousness. I couldn't stop Iggy. He turned towards me for the first time. See the glimmer of tears on their eyes. The things I said to you, the things I did to you. Turn away with a grimace, wiping at the belligerent water. Just wanted so badly to be what you wanted. Sniff. I lost myself in the process. Silence again. Silence save the occasional murmur of clanging of the dishware from back inside the cave. Bit on the inside of my cheek, gaze dropping to Gidget's feet. I don't want you to be anything. Pause. I just want you to be you. I had to smirk at myself. As laughable as that sounds, considering everything I've said over the years, voice grew small. So small out amongst all that black. I'm sorry, too. Feel Gidget sit next to me, shoulder brushing against mine. I guess we could both use a chance to try again, huh? Yeah, I smile in spite of myself, then turn my gaze back to the sky, watching the stars swirl around us. It's quiet for a good long time this time. Lean into the breeze as it laps at my cheeks, plays with my hair. For a moment, we're back in high school. Two of us sitting on the steps outside the computer lab after another long afternoon of hacking at our projects, watching as the sun sets, revealing the moon and the stars overhead. Spent so much time in that lab. Just the two of us. Gidget finally stirs. Sitting playing with a string on the hem of their pants. I know I have a lot of my own shit to work through. Pause. Shit. I gotta figure it out for myself. Shit, I am finally can figure it out for myself. I tend to look at them, brows arched. But if you ever can, give me a second chance. Voice goes soft, husky. I'd love to be your prince. Aww. Tears grew instantly warm. I jerked my head away, lips pressed tight. By your rules this time. Voice cracks. Hell yeah. I mean, not hell yeah to the voice crack, but hell yeah to the choices. He can finally get his choices. What he wants, not what everyone else wants of him. Might take me some time to get used to, but now it's her turn to blush. I never want to hurt you again, so I don't really know what to say, how to respond. There's a warmth inside of me, spreading out across my chest, shooting into my arms and fingers. My brain, part of my brain capable of forming words, seems to have stopped working. Not like it was really working that well to begin with. So instead, just clasp my hands together over my knees with a little breathy oh, and stare at the reflection of the moon on the lake until it sears my eyes. Gidget coughs, rolls their mouth. Anyway, you don't have to give me an answer now. A pause. Or ever. Another pause. But I hope you'll at least let me protect you. A third pause. This one long and pronounced. God damn it, Iggy, say something! I owe you that much. Maybe. Well, I know we're not good with our words, so let's take their hand. Head is still a whirl. Whirl with a whole smorgasbord of feelings, to be honest. Some that makes me warm. Some that makes me cold. Some that twist my insides into teeny tiny little knots that'll probably take weeks to iron out. One feeling stands out above the others. Feeling of closeness with Gidget. Even though there's still plenty about them that makes me uneasy. About what happened that made me uneasy. That connection between us remains. We will always remain tethered. And hopefully from henceforth we can learn to not hurt each other. Icky with his words and Gidget with their actions. Want to be there for them. Maybe I want them to be there for me too. Thought alone keeps the pink flowing through my cheeks as I glance up at them. A silhouette striking against a starlit backdrop. Striking and handsome. I drop my gaze and reach over hesitantly, shyly almost, curl my fingers around their knuckles. I'd like that very much. Just our eyes meet, just for a moment. Just enough time for Gidget's brows to arc and their eyes to soften, lips to tremble ever so slightly. For me to get this uncomfortable, for me to just get uncomfortable enough that I had to break the gaze and turn away with a dorky grin, fire still lapping at my cheeks. We sit there a short while longer, just staring out across the vista of trees and stars and memories. Oh, cute. Till Gidget starts pestering me about staying warm and how I need to rest my shoulder and the two of us wander back inside. I can still feel the warmth of their hand against my palm as I settle into my bed, sleep coating my eyes. Oh, that was quite a sweet and tender moment. Boy, do we need them in between the horrific moments that is this entire game. I wake the next morning to the smell of something cooking over the fire. But, fortunately I spy Gidget on the far end. And our eyes meet momentarily and they beckon me over. Take a spot next to them gratefully, then allow myself to finally dig into breakfast of fried potatoes and eggs awaiting me. My touch of their shoulder against mine is a comforting presence in my groggy morning state. Aww. I forgot about this. But we're gonna go and try say nothing this time because we know it doesn't freaking work. He doesn't really listen to us. Word choice makes my twitch. I say nothing. A reason to get all up in arms when we'll have to arm ourselves anyway in just a bit. Okay. Now Jerry turns back to his fellow rabbits in continued consolation. Take the opportunity to gaze across the... and we already read through all this. And we're still gonna say nothing, cause fuck you. We know you're not gonna listen to us. This time I hold your twitches. I refrain from saying anything. Jerry looks pretty worked up. Watch him fold his arms and back across his chest as he listens for any sign of our plan's progress. Pauses for a moment, and we already read through all this. And let's just say nothing to Jerry off the side there. A grimace bite down on my tongue, but say nothing. Feels like a pretty crucial juncture. Perhaps now isn't the best time to be nitpicking the lexicon. So I say nothing. Jerry turns his attention to the side of the shed, the sound of combat beginning to drift their way towards us. There we are, right through all this. Okay, and then we're gonna stick by Gidget for this one. I'm both shaken and shaky. Pain in my wrist is turned into a dull throb that travels up the entire length of my arm. Gidget has helped me gently onto the lip of the basin. Sit there quietly for a moment, gaze flicking hesitantly between my arm and the water. I must look slightly bewildered, though, because Gidget steps towards me, brows knitted in concern. You, need some help? Well, I don't answer in words, so my pleaded look I shoot them is apparently enough. Gonna sit down beside me, careful as they help me wash the blood off my arm. Finish up by tearing a piece of fabric from the bottom of my shirt, using it to wrap the wound. Not the most effective bandage in the world, but certainly better than nothing. Once that's taken care of, they give me my shoulder a reassuring squeeze, but I unconsciously let myself lean against them just a bit. Warmth of their skin is comforting in the dank sewer. Genzo takes his time to search our environs. See him wandering around, finger to his chin, in thought as he studies the surrounding walls. After a while, he turns back with a hum. Okay, I think we already read through all this. Nope, we haven't. There's like a door or something over here. Guess that's our best way in. Claire's gonna be awkward as fuck, though. Despite the door he's referring to, small square hatch in the ceiling near the far wall. Undoubtedly leads into the castle proper, though it will indeed be a tricky climb. Few raised platforms seem to form somewhat of an upward incline, though. The wall just beneath the door seems to boast a series of indented handholds, so we should be able to make it work. Give ourselves another 10 minutes or so to ensure we're good and ready before making the climb. For whatever reason, my affection is too low for all of them this time. I think because maybe I wasn't keeping to myself this time, but anyway, we're going to go talk to Gidget. Option will determine the final ending. Yep, we already know. Yes, we are going to do it. Push myself to my feet with a little wobble, blanket tied around my arms. Then start for the door. Feels strange, like walking through the veil of a dream. Not comprehending everything I'm doing, yet feeling more in control than I ever have in my life. Where are you going? Lynn rolls over to blink at me curiously from the bed. I stop. Look at the door. My feet. Suddenly feel as though I'm being judged. I mean, Om judges everybody, so just need to clear my head. Suit yourself. See him roll back over to face the wall. Look incredibly small, curled up on the bed like that. Chill the inside of my lip, just standing there a moment. Then push the door open and step outside. It's wet outside. While no longer actively raining, residual sense of moisture continues to cling to anything it can latch onto. The grass, the dirt, leaves and the trees. Even the very air itself, cool and crisp and heavy as it brushes against my cheek and nose. Pull the blanket tighter around my shoulder, still shivering. Spike Genzo seated on a log not far from the cabin, calmly hunkered over and cleaning his bloody stump of a finger. I wince, feeling a tendril of guilt curl its way around the base of my brain. Ultimately, I point my gaze downward and start towards the right. I hope he doesn't see me. Getting questioned by Orlan was bad enough. Not sure I could take Genzo's puppy dog eyes asking what I'm doing. Fortunately, I appear to succeed in my clandestine endeavors, because I make it around the side of the cabin without hitch. Let my shoulders fall just a bit, slowing to a meandering pace as I finish my roundabout jaunt. The area behind the cabin is dark and cool. A small hint of chopped wood piled up against the back of the cabin, a chopping block just a few paces away. I flicks momentarily back to the moment I had seen Bucks at that block, but I fight the memory away. There'll be plenty of time to worry about Bucks later. Right now, I only have one thing on my mind. As if on cue, I spot Gidget's unmistakably crop of blonde hair over by the threshold of trees. They're just standing there, motionless as they stare off into the darkness. Almost like some kind of portentous statue, prophesizing the events to come. I suddenly feel a bit out of place. My hunkered shoulders, blanket clutching around my frame, my roar of frailty. I feel so small compared to Gidget's decisive profile, and I'm all at once unsure what to say, or if I even should speak. Fortunately, I'm not forced to finagle a flustered greeting because Gidget seems to sense my presence and turns her head. Brows arc in surprise before curling downward, sheepish. Iggy, go back inside. You're gonna catch a cold. I'm fine, I mumble, despite the tremble of my fingers betraying my lie. Just wanted to make sure you were okay is all. Gidget smiles at this. I'm okay, I just need some air. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Gaze flicks back to the black void between the trees. Wait for them to continue. When they don't, I take a few steps forward, wet grass leaving dark patterns on my shoes. Whether it's from the sight of all the blackness, the breeze slipping up my pant leg. Chill works its way up my spine, and I instinctively pull the blanket in closer. Next to me, Gidget has started playing with their hands. It felt a bit stifling in there. I glanced over, pulling out their fingers, anxious. First twisting and tugging at their left index finger, then mashing a knee in their knuckles, up, down, up, down. Iggy? Somehow taken back to our chat in Gidget's car. Way they fidgeted uncomfortably before leaning up to kiss me. This feeling feels different. Less shy jitters and more, Iggy, I'm sorry. They turned towards me with a hurried jerk, hands to my shoulders, but not looking at me, staring down at the ground, staring through the ground. Gidget? Start, my voice is getting swallowed up in my lungs. Feel their fingers trembling around my shoulder blades. See the glimmering of tears as heavy pools grow beneath their eyes. When they speak again, next, their voice is strained, choked. For a second, I'm in that cabin. All I can think about is what I did to you. I drop my gaze. All those other times, the pain that I caused you. Throat catches. How were things I said to you? A grip goes tight around my shoulders that it starts to hurt. I mean, it kind of does go both ways, because I know Iggy didn't say a lot of nice things to you either. And I place a hand over theirs with a small squeeze. Gidget. Pinch loosens. Go slack. Finally the arms fall down to their sides. Gaze is still pointed at the ground. I don't know how you could ever forgive me. Tears are running, rivulets down their cheeks now, jaws clenched. How can I expect anyone to accept me for who I am? A sniff. They wipe at their nose. If I can't accept you for who you are. Gidget, it was this place, I start. It doesn't take back what I did. He cuts me off with a snap. And softer. It doesn't take back how I hurt you. Don't know what to say to this, so I say nothing, just staring at the wet grass. Gidget starts slapping their hand against their forehead with a frustrated groan. Gidget? What if? They buck forward, and I instinctively put my arms out to catch them. Strength isn't enough to keep them aloft. And when they go limp, their knees buckling beneath them, lie down to the ground, body heavy against mine. Wrap their arms around my legs, face pressed against near my belly as their shoulders heave. What if this place reveals our true selves? How I hear them, their voice muffled by the fabric on my shirt. But then they turn their head, taking a gasping breath of air through their tears. What if I would have done that eventually for real? Up there? Not sure what to say at first. Simply bring my hand to the back of their head, feel them trembling against me. But if that's who I really am? That's bullshit. Comes out before I can even register it. I blink, force of the words surprising in me. Bill Gidget's head shifts slightly as they turn their blurry gaze upwards. That's bullshit, I say again, a bit quieter, but with more conviction. Is it, though? Gidget asks after a moment, hesitant. Might be a lot I don't know about you. Might be a lot you don't even know about yourself. But if there's one thing I do know, is that you're the kindest, sweetest people I've ever known. Gidget doesn't respond to this, just kneeling there. He'll sniff, breath shuddering. Besides, say slightly, do you really think Orland would have started secretly boiling people alive in his basement? Do you? Gidget laughs at this, through a cackling chuckle that makes their shoulders quake. Maybe not, he sniffed. Though he did always have some strange taste. I mean, sexually, sure, but hopefully you're talking about that and not food. I sigh, kneel down myself, bringing my arms around Gidget's shoulders and pressing my face up on top of their head. Aww. Stop, you're gonna make me cry again. Hair is soft against my cheeks. Look, this place has twisted all of us. I've got shit I need to work through, though, too. The pain that I caused. Will Gidget press into me, breath still shaky. But that's not who you are. A pause. Only you can decide who you are. Not this place, not your mum, not anyone else. Get them another squeeze. Definitely not me. My eyes burn just a bit at these words past my lips. A treatment of my own. So many words said thoughtlessly. Two of us grew quiet, just holding each other. Kneeling there in the wet grass as we let the weight of our sins against each other gather, then spill out onto our feet. Gidget is the first to speak. Hear them sniff, their throats still choked with phlegm. Through their voices now tinted in jest. So philosophical. I have my moments. I print that out and hang it up next to my Live Laugh Love poster. Oh god, please don't ever hang that shit up. You fucking... I'm gonna start this, which throws off my balance. We both tipped to the side, falling onto the grass with a cushy thump, and still tangled. Gidget laughs. First real laugh of theirs I've heard in I don't know how long, to be honest. Some of it reminds me of orange soda. Then they turn, shifting onto their backs so they can look up at the stars. I follow suit. Heaven is expanding in front of us like the world's largest painting. But the chill seeping into my back don't feel cold. Quite the opposite, in fact. Strange residual warmth seems to be building up into my chest. Comfortable, homey sort of warmth. I feel like I have so much to make up for. Gidget finally muses. The gaze still pointed skyward. Everything I've done, everything I worked for, it's all been for a life that isn't my own. I'm quiet for a moment, thinking. I get that. Makes me wish I could have figured all this shit out sooner, you know? All those wasted years. Yeah, that's the unfortunate part of life. Once you finally start figuring shit out, sometimes realize, damn, could have been doing this all from the start. Not wasted my life on shit that wasn't even fulfilling or not even worth my time. You know? Our kind of younger generations are all able to work this stuff out in their teens. The internet, I guess. I say with a laugh. I just see them curl their hand into a fist, pulling at the grass. Nobody talked about this kind of stuff. You were different, it was just a phase, a quirk, something you grew out of. I definitely feel that, because I definitely grew up in that era. There was nowhere we could go untangle all the weird thoughts floating up around our heads. No safe spaces to ask questions, or almost to look up to. I don't disagree, but I'm also not sure what to add, so I stay silent, waiting for them to continue. This is gonna sound stupid and ridiculous, but I sometimes actually feel jealous of Genzo, you know? I'm not trying to make it sound like he had it easy or anything, don't get me wrong. But at least he had a very physical sign telling him what was up with him. What was up? God damn it, Iggy! Genzo's been rubbing off on you, hasn't he? I bite back a sticker. Iggy. God damn it. Genzo wipes me against my shoulder with a laugh. Grows in frustration, hand to their forehead and clenching out their bangs. Yeah, he went through a lot of shit too, but at least he knew who he was. Until I took a step towards figuring myself out, I get pushed back too. This constant battle. Yeah, it definitely didn't help with the fact that all those people around you kept on pushing you away from trying to figure yourself out. I drop my gaze at this, hands clasping across my chest. I don't even want to think about how many steps I'd pushed them back. The thought makes the guilt gathered in my belly twist in discomfort. Even now, I don't know if I know, you know. It feels right. I feel right. But hear the tremble in their voice, the uncertainty. It felt like I've been wearing a mask my whole life. It's been so long that even now that I've been taking it off, don't know what's underneath. Something in Gidget's words makes my own brain tingle. Don't know why. Like something hitting too close to home. Though not in the same way. Nothing to do with gender. Nothing to do with sexuality. But a secret third thing that I don't understand. A mask. The mask. Mask I've been wearing for a long time. So that I could fit in. Guess it continues before I can dig in too deep. Guess I don't want to waste any more time is all. Not when I've already wasted so much. First my lips, brows furrowing. I don't think it's all been a waste though, has it? Just a different path. Gidget responds with a non-communal hum. Would you have done things differently if you figured things out sooner? Screwing my eyes against the stars. Not sure, though it's a bit different, maybe. Maybe. Then my thoughts bounce for a few more moments before attempting to translate them into words. Though perhaps I'd have been less scared. Scared? Because I always just avoided people. When they get too close, I'd run away, without knowing why. Gidget is silent next to me. But maybe if I knew why, I'm more confident in making my own needs known, my own boundaries. Felt less alone, less different from everyone else. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess these guys are two different sides of the same coin, in a manner of speaking. Place my hands across my belly, chewing on the inside of my cheek. And again, maybe it would have just been even more of an anxiety-ridden wreck, I say with a small laugh. Good laughter joins mine as the warmth of our shared insecurity settles over us. Then the quiet returns. Nothing but the far-off song of cicadas to accompany our reflection. I think I would have done things differently, Gidget says softly. Glance in the direction but say nothing. Peripheral stands dark against the black backdrop of trees, strong. A lot differently. Something about the way they say this gives me pause. Then I turn my eyes back towards the sky. It's both limitless and suffocating at the same time. There's still time. We aren't that old. Even if I feel like ancient dust compared to teens these days. Yeah, we aren't. Of course, that means we need to get out of here alive, which isn't exactly guaranteed at this point. Gidget laughs, a tired laugh, but an accepting one. Yeah, that's true. Turn to see them smiling. Without really thinking about it, I reach over to find their hand. Fingers lacing between theirs, interlocked atop the wet grass. If we do though, we can do things differently, together. Kira turns to look at me. I see tears bristling once again in their eyes. I give my hand a squeeze. A connection to the void. Shared understanding. Single point of warmth warding off the chill. My warmth. I'd like that very much. Aww. And that was actually kind of a nice moment. I think we very much needed that talk after the hell we went through together. Lie out there a bit longer, till the tendrils of sleep start to claim me, eyes fluttering closed, words devolved into their blurry murmurs. Gidget must notice it because I hear them chuckle even through my dream-weary state. Feel them pull me in close. You idiot, you're gonna get sick. But I'm tired. Come here. Pull the blanket more snugly across my frame, now snaking around my waist, and simply hold me in against their chest. Stop, my heart. It's gonna burst. How cute and adorable this is, and how wholesome it is. I'm gonna cry again. God damn it. Warm cocoon. Silent and still beneath the stars. Yes, this was right. And if we don't have all the answers, and if we still have more we need to work through, at least we can be there for each other. Ride each other with warmth. In that moment, before I fall asleep, the worries vanish. No matter what tomorrow may bring, no matter what fate we may have in store, no matter what fate may have in store for us, we have each other. Sometimes, that's enough. Feel Gidget's chin rest against the top of my head as they curl against me. Thank you, Iggy. Then, I'm asleep. God damn it. I'm never good with these kind of sappy things. It always makes me cry. Yeah. They're not dead. Alright, we fell asleep outside, so... Oh god, what are they gonna think? Look at them, cold and lifeless on the ground. Cruel cogs of fate having stolen lives with naught but the finale remaining. Would you stop fucking talking like that? I swear to God, I'm 1 second away from maiming you. Well, I mean, that's only fair after what Orlam has done to you, but... Working the next morning to feeling a foot against my rib. God damn it, stop kicking me! I'm already down. Foot touched gently against my skin once, twice. Then just me right in the appendix. Ow! Start with my innards. Already bruised enough. That other pain yelled and twisted back. What the hell? Oh, still animate. Tragic. Let me guess, you're hoping that you'd be able to eat me, right, Orlam? Orlam muses and steps back. His arms curled languidly across his chest. Iggs. Consider steps forward and into my view. Brows not in concern. Christ on a cracker. Why the fuck didn't you two come in last night? I bring a hand to my forehead, side still aching, as I attempt to jumpstart my mind into gears and deduce what happened. Gidget. I drop my gaze. There they are, still curled up next to me, just as I remembered. Then we really did fall asleep out here, which would certainly explain why my every muscle feels stiff enough to lay, whatever that word is on. Also, why a deep-seated chill has seeped its way so deep into my bones that my teeth won't stop chattering against each other. Great. I'm pushing myself all the way up to a seat, running a hand through my damp hair. So much for trying to rest up before the big climax, or whatever it is that awaits us on the other side of that door. Gidget, wake up. Say with a bellowed sigh as I give them a little shake. They shift, groan, and let out a big yawn as they roll onto their back. I need to merely snap open their eyes. Fuck, that's cold. You're telling me about the goosebumps roaming up and down my arms. Probably not the best idea we've had. Fuck, Gidget says again, popping up on their seat, or to a seat. 2 fucks in a row, they must be really uncomfortable. We require sustenance. God damn it. Almost stares down at us blankly. To which Gidget responds with an angry splay of their hands. What do we look like? Your fucking parents? Go make something. They're growing knot on their forehead. Orlam raises his gaze towards the sky, almost disinterest. I don't know how to work the stove. Cause of course you wouldn't. Fuck. I can practically hear Gidget's teeth clacking between each expletive. Gidget slaps Orlam's shoulder with angry huff. Stop being a saggy sack of dicks and help them inside, shit for brains. Just forward towards me. Just for a second, our eyes meet. Seeing pause. Jaw taunts as his brows go rigid. And in an instant, Orlam steps between us, grabbing my hands before Genzo has a chance. Everyone's so moody in the morning. Orlam grumbles and pulls me to my feet, none too gently. Genzo quickly snaps up out of his stoop and offers his hand to Gidget instead. Takes it and stumbles to their feet with a wobble. Now, as me for a second time, he quickly averts his gaze. Aw. Don't worry, Genzo, you'll get your turn in a moment. Looks sad. Kind of defeated heaviness to his aura. He quickly covers it with a wide grin. 'Cause of course he would. I mean, this is Genzo we're talking about. Pretty sure I saw some porridge in there when I was scrounging around this morning. Maybe we can rustle ourselves up some grub, eh? Hot meal does sound divine right about now. It's just tempting to brush the errant bits of grass and dirt from their clothes. Maybe between the 4 of us we can make heads or tails of that stove. Too many cooks, more like. But clearly my opinion is held in low regard. I start back towards the other side of the cabin, feet leaving valley in the wet grass. Before I round the corner, feel a grip on my wrist. I glanced back to see Gidget's face furrowed in concern. You okay? I asked softly. You already look like you're liable to keel over at a moment's notice. Gaze flicks downward. I shouldn't have kept you out. I just smelled the return, warmth from the night prior still flushed on my cheeks. This one, a little hot food and I'll warm right up. Gidget smiles at this, small blush dancing on their own cheeks. Then the two of us walk inside to have our breakfast. But a few despairing comments and a near argument, the rest of the morning goes about as smooth as you might expect. And then we've already read through all this, but... So I glanced at Gidget across the room, who's currently surveying the collection of jars on the far shelf, clearly deep in thought. Cheeks grew warm in spite of myself. I flicked my gaze back to the door. And then... Oh, you're not gonna give me any other choices. Cool, Gidget. Cause yeah, we went for to call ourselves, but we can call Gidget this time. Go down to Gidget's name on the list. That's right. Made my choice. Now I'm gonna decide my happiness. Yeah, I know we were read with this already. Oh. I stepped just a bit closer to Gidget. I feel strange. More scared than I've ever felt in my life. It was simultaneously like I'm returning somewhere I've not been in a long, long time. A place I once found comfort in. I hand to Gidget's shoulder on instinct. She and their blonde hair helping to ground me, even as my insides feel like they're spiraling. I see them glance back. Shoot me a little grin. Helps me refine a bit of my confidence. A bit, mind you. Getting lighter now. Oh, greyish-green in the sky, and we've already read through this. Oh, come on. Gidget gestures forward, and the four of us take off. Before Gidget starts to run, they twist back, throwing me a look of fear and grabbing my wrist. Then we're running. Careening across the clearing. Barely breathe, barely hear myself think. Force whatever focus I can on simply keeping my legs moving. I trained on Gidget's grip on my wrist. Run. Clearing. But Gidget yanks me out of the way just as it brings the giant hunk of an axe head straight down on the ground at our feet. Don't even realize I'm screaming as I fly through the air. Stumble. Then go face first into the ground a few yards away. So I feel the tremors rippling through the air from the axe's impact. I hug the ground. I got Gidget's arm around me, keeping me pinned. Then try to move, push myself back up, even as my vision shimmers and my ears ring. Gidget pushes me back down, face pressed close to my ear. Iggy, stay back, okay? Get as far away as you can. Hear the quiver in their voice. Go and give a squeeze of reassurance. And then they're back to their feet, pole swinging as they go charging back towards the thing. I can't bring myself to look, although my head is still trying to stop spinning. Cool until a thud to my left hones my brain back into focus and I shoot a glance towards my side. Orlin. Sitting with his back against the dirt and a grimace on his lips, blood licking from his mouth. He pays it and me no heed, quickly bouncing back onto his feet and raising his already bloody blade with a growl. Press my eyes shut. I see Genzo shout and jump onto his tail. I see Olin latch onto the thing's claw like some kind of furious tick stabbing him. I don't see Gidget racing towards me, stumbling to the ground next to me. Only when their face overtakes my vision do I realize I've fallen. Iggy! What are you screaming at me? Sharp shooting pain radiating from my back. Cold wetness falling on the back of my shirt. Iggy, God, oh God. lifting my head off the ground now. They're fuzzy at first, hazy outline topped with a blob of gold. But they sharpen into view as I take a gasping breath and feel my lungs expand. Iggy, are you okay? Say something. I wince, tend to move my arms and legs, my fingers. Everything still seems to be working despite the throbbing ache. I'm okay, I say, because I have to be. I have to be if we're going to get through this. Push myself up to a seat, Gidget's hand going to my back. Face is contorted in fear. Okay, really, I say again. It's accompanied by another roar, pained one. Both of us see all the stinkiness and I stray into one of the thing's claws. Thins out cascade of blood that saturates the grass. Oh God. See Gidget's face go pale as they watch in horror. For a long moment, they seem to be lost in shock. The sight of it take another swing at Genzo, though must snap them back out of it, because they grimace and push themselves back to their feet. This isn't over yet, say with a wince. Look tired, really tired. But they pick up their pole all the same. Iggy, stay back, okay? Then they're off again, because there's no other choice. Watch them go charging back into the fray, watching themselves at the thing's throat, naming a few well-placed hits in the jugular. Oh, for fuck's sake, Box, you're gonna get yourself lost. Looking vexed, Genzo takes off across there, clearing with a frustrated groan. Oh, okay, so it's actually Genzo going after Box, not Gidget. Across the circle, all of them grows visibly nervous. Everyone's leaving. Looks left and right and then, abruptly takes off. Gidget looks back at me, lips curling into a smile. Iggy, let's go. Start to move towards the trees. Just a second. Step forward, hands raised. Then we both just stand there, looking at each other. I feel like I have something really important to say, but I just can't remember. Gidget, I swallow. Gaze drops. I can feel myself start to tremble. Don't worry, Iggy. Huh? Think back the water forming once more in my eyes. Don't worry about what? Gidget smiles. Everything's gonna be fine. I promise. I blink, then smile. Smile is 1,000 memories, 1,000 moments of heartbreak, of joy, of love so strong it makes my heart fucking ache. All pass through my thoughts in an instant, forcing the tears back down my cheeks. I chuckle sheepishly. Well, when you put it that way, then I take the hand. We go running after the others, leaving the forest, and our Wonderland behind. Okay, and we got something different here. Gidget and I joined the team hackathon spring of senior year. Somehow rose above the competition to take first place. Hell yeah, you two. And after prom, we made ourselves a promise that both of us would make it through Springwood's software development program. Look at Gidget in their little suits. That's cute. I really like that. Instead of them pretending to be what they were and having to wear that kind of ugly looking dress. Maybe do better than the others in the process. Come college, we both got to work doing just that. Though I did start to notice some changes in Gidget. While I stayed hunkered down in my dorm room coding or playing games, Gidget was getting out there, making friends, joining groups on campus. Even started dabbling in some art classes. Eventually decided to tack a graphic design major on their degree. Oh, that's nice. Little by little, they start dragging me along with them too. First the occasional LGBT plus club meeting, then to the off and on volunteer work of with campus pride. It was through these meetings that I met many new people. That I started figuring out a lot of stuff out about myself too. I came out to them as asexual our junior year. This didn't surprise them. Yeah, to nobody's surprise, but Cecil, yay, he's still here. It's through these organisations that Gidget met Cecil, an exchange student from the UK. Somehow they became fast friends. Three of us formed a little trio. Me, the awkward introvert, Cecil the grumpy student, and Gidget our cheerleader. And occasionally Autumn. Yes, I love that. I fucking love that. That's wonderful. After graduating, the three of us found a place together. Well, it's not too bad when you can split in 3 ways, after all. And, I mean, some other things are not too bad when you split in 3 ways, eh? Am I right or am I right? Gidget found a work as a junior designer at a local non-profit while I began working freelance. Aw, look at them, they're so cute together. Well, until Gidget's promotion to senior designer when they came home buzzed and ecstatic. And they kissed me for the first time. It felt natural. Like it had only been a matter of time. Aw. Then they kissed Cecil. Look at Iggy back there, that's so cute. And then all... God... Man, Gidget has been busy. Busier than all of them, by the sound of it. It's always over. My God. After that, we just kind of settled into life. Our life. Life that's occasionally chaotic, but always warm. Always welcoming. Always home. Life I've chosen for myself. And no one else. Still get the occasional deja vu, the sudden flash of a memory, sometimes so brief and so intense it takes me the wind out of me, other times long and drawn out, filling me with a sense of long-lost melancholy. Heart knows what I've been through. Even my head forgets sometimes. Heart never forgets. Gidget remembers too. Sometimes we'll be hanging out and they'll remember bringing up a memory. My God, Iggy, do you remember when... Whoa, did this just take you back? Oh God, this is just like... I always have to pause a moment. That memory fizzles to the surface. Find it there, buried deep within the synapses. But I always do. And then I'll smile. Yeah, I'll say. Even though it doesn't make a lick of sense. Then the two of us will go about our day. Aw, that's actually very sweet. I like that ending. Yeah, we got the trophy there now. I'm guessing this is going to fill up with all the endings once we get to it, but yeah. We still got 2 more to do, which is Orlam and Ginzo. Oh, and the main menu has also changed with Iggy and Gidget now. Oh, that's adorable. I actually like that. Okay, but now this is the difficult choice for me because I like both of these characters. This is a difficult choice because God, this is hard to choose which one I want to go with next because I like Ginzo because eventually, well, like at the beginning of the first arc, didn't kind of like how he was treating Orlam, so didn't really like him. But then, or probably because we spent the most time with him, he eventually grew on me and I ended up liking him a lot. Kind of almost like the opposite with Gidget, although Ginzo didn't do anything nearly as bad, but he was still an asshole. But, yeah, Olim on the other hand, I mean, he is kind of a sleazeball, but he is my sleazeball, okay? But, yeah. Well, I think I'm gonna go with Olim next, because I get a feeling Genzo is kind of the, I guess, canon route, I think, if you want to put it that way, because Iggy and Genzo seem to be the OTP of this game, so time for Olim, baby, let's go. Horse jump instinctively to Olim. Nice we spent together, dancing, playing, skin against mine, but not in a way that was uncomfortable. Flashy brought to my cheeks, just the two of us in our own little world. We'd been good for each other. I'd like to think that, somehow. Complimented each other, a way that doesn't have a label, because it doesn't need to. But what does that mean? I don't know. It's also confusing. I don't know what I want. With that, we jump back into our Wonderland. Okay, we're all the way back here. My god. Okay, so yeah. Basically, did most of the same choices that we'd already picked. Mostly just kept to myself, and also made sure to say that we're not going to kill Olim to Jerry. But anyway, we can go talk to Olim now. The option will determine your final ending. Yep, we want to do this. Push myself to my feet with a little wobble, blanket wrapped around my arms. Then start towards the other side of the room. Feels strange, walking in through the veil of a dream. No comprehending everything I've done yet, feeling more in control than I ever have in my life. I make it to the bed, I just stand there. Olim is pointed away from me, facing the wall. Not sure what to do. I stare at him awkwardly for a moment, shifting back and forth on my feet. Olim says without even turning around, "Do you want something?" Trying to give an instinctive jump, my gaze turns towards the sheets. I swallow. Feel so stupid now. Everything. Why did I walk over here? Why am I standing here mumbling like an idiot? Rub at my nose. Sniff. You wanna, talk? If I could stab myself straight in the face right now, I would. Olim is silent a moment, then slowly rolls over to face me. Got the most bemused, bewildered expression on his face that I've ever seen. A trio of options preferred, and the maestro options opts for the eternal duet and B. Interesting. Hey yo, are you able to forceful break too? I have no idea what he's referring to. I do. So I just blink at him blankly. But of course, I'm always open for a discussion. Says this with a sly little smile that I don't miss, and gestures towards the side of the bed. Do sit down, though. I glance from him, to the bed, to the way he splayed out leisurely, almost like Rose Dawson on the couch. I pull a chair over from the kitchen table instead. Way to go, Iggy, way to go. Grins noisily as I drag it across the wood. Squeaks as I sit down. I wince, keeping my gaze downward. Holm chuckles and sits up on the bed. I can't say I didn't expect that. Me either, Holm. And you poor dude. I run a hand through my hair sheepishly, adjusting myself in the chair. We did spend ample time together, after all. Holm scooches forward until he can dangle his legs off the side of the mattress, chin propped languidly atop his fist. What do you want to talk about, Iggy? What did I want to talk about? Suddenly all my thoughts seemed like they dried straight up. Just like something else, eh? Am I right or am I right? I guess, I clasp my hands together on my lap. Well, how are you, holding up? Olive cocks a brow. Holding up? What is this? Counseling in Survival Situations 101? I mean, just a lot happens, you know. And, like, I feel like no one's ever asked you how you're doing. No, I don't imagine they would. Though I would say the same for any one of us. A smirk. We all know we're barely hanging on. Why bring attention to it? I wince. He's got a point. Sure, Owen's part might have been the most recent, but all four of us are well past our breaking points by now. I've been stabbed, been threatened more times than I can count. Genzo's had his fingers chopped off and probably still suffering from debilitating pain in his legs, despite him never bringing it up. Gidget still has the old shtick where they've just had to lay it to the side until we figured everything out in here. Yeah, like the whole, being a spider, well, being part spider and everything. That's not even taking into consideration the mental and emotional trauma weighing down like 5-ton boulders on our shoulders. Yeah. Luckily, when we get out, we don't remember anything of it, because, oh boy, our therapists are going to have a fucking field day with all this. But we don't have time to think about that. Don't have the mental capacity to think about it. To acknowledge what we've been through, start trying to work things out. Especially when we don't even know if we're going to make it out of here alive to begin with. I guess that's true, I finally say. Must look especially disappointed, because Orman gives a little chuckle. Having a moment, were you? I've been having a lot of moments lately. Understandable. Mom tilts his head to the side, and brings her hand up, and gently pushes a lock over an errant bang back behind my ear. Touch makes me shiver just slightly, but I don't pull away. Or am I? I start, then all of a sudden find my throat stopped shut. Owen watches me silently, waiting. Finally, I knew that I was never a great friend to you in the past. Owen sits back as I begin playing with my hands. But, pause. I lick my lips. You don't actually think I hated you, do you? I mean, would you blame him? There it was. A question that had been bothering me since back in the castle. Owen's gaze goes to the ceiling. He comes beneath his breath. No, he finally says, leisurely. He taps his temple with a small smile. I knew that here, even if I haven't already known that here, he continues, this time pointing at his chest. Gaze drops to the small spot of fleshy pink you see poking out beneath the colour of his shirt. An ugly scar stretched across his skin. Oh. But I would say that's more a byproduct of this place, just as vaguely skyward, than anything else. Raymond here does kindle the flames of our worst affectivities. Yeah, lies down in my lap, pulling anxiously at my fingers. I know that pretty well. Seems to amuse Orlam. Reaches forward to grab my hand, palm pointed skyward. Traces his finger across my palm towards his wrist. Yes, we did get to see some interesting sides of you down here, didn't we? Quite passionate. I mean, maybe not you, but God, I don't want to think about time we spent with Gidget, but anyway, moving on. Feel the heat rise to my cheeks and instinctively jerk my head away. Does that embarrass you? The idea of losing yourself to your emotions? I flicks back to then. Don't know how else to describe it. That loop. Loop hadn't seemed to be able to control myself at all. The anger inside of me. prompting words I never said otherwise. A bit, I say softly. Thought of how I acted changed me, how I must have appeared to others, and the things I'd eventually do. The horrible things. Do you regret it? Pierce goes even redder. Something about the way he's whispering the words, the way his fingers are dancing up my waist, or up my wrist and arm, making my heart beat like a steam engine in my ears, which is just flustering me even further. I don't know. I once pressed my lips together. I regret the way I hurt people, the awful things I did. We did. All flicks his gaze up at me, studying me beneath his lidded eyes. Do you regret us? I don't have a response to this. It's because I feel so fucking hot right now. I would swear my throat had just shriveled up and in on itself, rendering me incapable of words. Fortunately, one must have expected this. This only seems to amuse him further. He laughs. I've forgotten how much I enjoy this. Then he leans in, brows soft against my cheek. Making you Twitter-pated? Jerk backwards as though I'm just been shocked, chuckling nervously and smoothing down my hair again and again and again. This fucking... Let's trail off as I watch him lean back, scrutinizing me. Tilts his head. I've had my fair share of moments down here. Moments of awe, moments of despair, moments of overwhelming joy. Scratches lackadaisically at his chin. But I must admit those loops where you would join me had a special place in my heart. Look at this, my brow's twitching. Loops? I pause as I sit on this, as in plural? Of course. His eyes lit up. He leans forward in excitement. Don't you remember? Only really... Before I can attempt to scour my brain further, I was catching my hands in his and pulled me off the bed. Hey, we get one last dance. I barely keep from stumbling over my feet as he twists me first left then right, turning the cabin floor into a glittering ballroom stage. There were many varieties, after all. Ones where you were more bashful, others where you were more irate. There we go. Pull me in against him to an inaudible rhythm in his mind. Some where I'd had to push you more, some where you pushed me. Another spin. But always the same awkward charm, same red-faced chagrin. All of them. Spurt her out as we go dancing back towards the kitchen. I still mean what I said even back then, that I never had someone show me such kindness to me. No one stood up for me like that. And that honestly sucks, but at the same time I kind of know how that feels. Well, I say before nearly tipping backwards. Mom promptly snatches me up as I go teetering back. It's like you fell right into my lap, exactly what I needed. Someone to care for me as I was. To be a calming presence I could return to once the spotlight grew too warm. To keep me grounded within the chaos of life. I'm glad, somehow managed to say, despite my ragged breath catching in my throat. He stops for a moment. I'll never forget the sight of you glancing out from your little game when I come back out to one of my parties. Then leans up against me and into me, face pressed against his cheek, his lips curl into a grin. We're snug as a bug in our bed, looking cute enough to gobble straight up, Please no gobbling. We've had enough of cannibalism for one lifetime. Laugh awkwardly as Orlum moves upward. His nose and cheeks are flush with my neck. All those times you let me wash your hair, all those beautiful curls wrapped around my fingers. Higher. Feel Tracy's lips up the side of my neck, across my chin. All that adorable way you always scold me when I crossed a line. He pulls away just slightly, right by my mouth, even barely a centimeter between our lips. I can see him smiling, feel his breath against my skin. You liked that too, didn't you? A little game of push and pull. It's dizzying, the effect he has on me. But I fall back into the same patterns, the same feelings, the same energy. All of it, all his memories, of all the loops, all that time we spent together. All of it swirling across my mind and guiding my thoughts, my reactions. For a moment, I can only stare at him, cheeks on fire and lips trembling. Then I turn away with a shamefaced wince. But we both know how it always ended. You all give a little hum in the back of his throat. Feel him pull back just a bit. Too much of a good thing, as they say. Orlum, we killed people. He laughs at this. Memories that will last a lifetime, I'm sure. Feel a frown tug at my lip. You don't feel bad at all about everything that happened down here? Then let my gaze drop. Those times you killed me? Must feel the gravity of the question because he finally steps all the way back, gaze going skyward. Seemed to be thinking hard. It would be mendacious of me to claim I feel no remorse. Looking back on things now, finally muses, silence falling behind his back. You of all people should know how persuasive this place can be. Yeah. I can't proclaim I'd do things differently if given another chance. See his brows furrow, but I don't want that chance. If this is to be the end, then let it be the end, either in death or escape. Won't rewind again. You both just stand there then, eyes to the floor as the light from the stove colors our profiles. But if we do die? Finally ask, hesitant. Orm is silent for a moment. Then he cocks his head with a little grin, arms up in a shrug. Then I will look forward to you glancing up from your little game, so I'll join you in our castle in the sky. And that's a really sad and slightly sweet thought. This makes me grin in spite of myself. I bring a hand to my mouth, my earlier bashfulness returning. Feel a little awkward again. Momentum that had been pushing me forward now gone as I simply stand there like a lanky grease stick. Orlum is the opposite of awkward. Reaches a hand out, palm in offering. Shall we have our final dance today? Shall we have our final dance then, on this eve of reckoning? Didn't we already have it? I think this one will be more to your liking. Blinking in confusion, I take his hand. Pulls me in close. It's slow this time. Slow, gentle, easy. Wraps his arms around my waist and I distinctly encircle mine around his neck. Two of us just swaying softly in the middle of the cabin. After a while, I let myself curl in a bit, my chin nestling his way against the side of his head as I close my eyes. It's warm, comforting. Arms holding me softly, fingers pressed lightly into my skin. My support, keeping me anchored to the earth. Back and forth to a melody neither one of us can hear. Dance with its own rules. Iggy? Iggy? He finally says softly. breath tickling my neck. My body is quite heavy against his now. I feel him nudge his face against mine, so I pull back just a bit. Catch him grinning at me for a second. See his gaze go from my mouth to my eyes, then back to my mouth. Then he leans in, pushes up a bit on his toes, and kisses me. I just say I was surprised, that I didn't expect it, but my eyes barely even flutter. Yes, we've done this before. Done this before many times. Stolen kisses on the stairs. Stolen pecks while I'm 10 levels deep in my roguelike. Dizzying sessions before he'd pass out drunk on the pillow next to mine. I smile against his lips now. And then the memories settle back over me. A familiar warmth. A comfortable warmth. My warmth. Aww. All leads me back to the bed before long, tugging my index finger to guide me over. It's an action that with anyone else might have filled me with dread, but with him I feel only calm. Our own unspoken sense of understanding. It's by all means strange when you think about it. Someone like him with many needs, and someone like me with none. How are we even supposed to work? But maybe that's just the thing. We don't need to fit inside any kind of pre-written rules. Don't need to be any one thing. We can just be us. Two people that care for each other. Keep each other grounded. Why is it with these being so sweet and wanting to make me fucking cry? My heart. It's breaking for an entirely different reason. It's so sweet. As we lie there, the moonlight flittering in through the window to cast the sheets in warm yellow patterns. While I'm running his fingers across my forehead, through my hair the way he's done so many nights in the past. I feel a sense of serenity wash over me. Once, no anxiety grips my heart, not my belly. No telling what tomorrow will bring. This is to be the end, then let it end. God, this makes me feel so fucking lonely. God damn it. That'd be right. Fucking ridiculous. What are we even supposed to do? See this face? Does this face look like it's got any fucking answers? You're the one who's always got something to say. Yeah, well, one my words got stuffed so far up my ass this time, I'm gonna start chucking them all over the floor. No thanks. Please just aim it away from us. Okay, not sure that mental image was necessary. Exactly, Gidget, exactly. Waking the next morning to the sound of hushed whispers from the other side of the cabin. Don't move for a moment. Feel too warm, too secure. Tendrils of warmth curled around my waist and legs. Finally, however, I blink my eyes open, blurry. At least we were in the warmth of the cabin this time. Light is harsh against my eyes, and I wince as I push myself up on my arms to survey my surroundings. Whispers stop. Immediately. When I creep my neck over to take a look, see Gitcha and Genzo huddled around the table. Both of them just staring at me like deer in the headlights. Hey, Iggs. Genzo's voice cracks. Morning, Iggy. Genzo winces, the eye strange. You, sleep well? Mind immediately races. Memories from the previous night swirling around inside my head. Fuzzy images jerking into focus, one after another. Snap my head down. Tendrils of warmth aren't tendrils at all. Rather, Olim's limbs curled up and tangled around me. One especially questionable hand reaching half down the back of my pants. God damn it, Olim. At least keep your hands somewhere else, you know. Look, I can explain, okay? I can explain. It was nothing like that, okay? Head and shoes back up, cheeks burning. This isn't what it looks like. As I noticed the tour of the table was coming deeper and deeper into this potent carget. Yeah, that word. Next to me, Olim murmurs in annoyance. Yes, it is. Olim, you're not helping. His heart's trying to tongue me back down into bed. Come back to bed, dear. This just flusters me even further. I attempt to extricate myself from the tightly wound grip on my hips and waist with a few frantic tugs. I can practically feel the collective bristling emanating from the table. A loud critic as Genzo pushes himself up from his chair. Hey, Fox McGee, he's trying to get up. Appears nonplussed. Pushes a lock of bang out of his face with a languid sigh. Oh, don't worry. I already got him up. Well, Gendo is not going to like this one bit. Gendo looks like he's about to blow a gasket. Genzo, interject before this can blow completely out of proportion. It's fine. I'm fine. Nothing happened. We just fell asleep. Finally managed to sit all the way up, heart thudding anxiously in my chest. Exactly the wake-up call I had imagined. Genzo's face's pained mixture of despair and barely contained fury. One lowers to a seat next to me, leaning heavily against me and draping an arm across my shoulder. Yes, we have succumbed to the weary tendrils of sleep. Our limbs an intimate tangle atop the sheets. Olim, I hiss, very much wishing the whole situation could just be over. Olim, however, gives me an affectionate squeeze. Raises a brow at Genzo's growing crummy. You seem vexed. Would you like to join us tonight? We can share. Genzo's face goes practically purple. Raises a finger as though about to shout something, but he's shaking so much he can't seem to get it out. Come on, Genzo, go take a walk. Blow it off. Clenches his eyes shut, grits his teeth, and blushing furiously, he goes stomping out the door. Exactly. There you go, Genzo, there you go. Slams it shut behind him with such force it makes the whole cabin shake. Rain check then? Olim muses dispassionately. Throw a glance back at Gidget, who's still sitting quietly at the table, just staring at us. They stand up with a start. They run a hand through their hair, awkward chuckle on their lips. Porridge. You guys hungry? Was gonna make some porridge. Point weakly in the direction of the stove. Sure, Gidget. I respond with a tight smile of my own, cheeks starting to burn. Right. Stand there a moment longer, then abruptly twist back towards the kitchen. Hear Olim laugh softly next to me. Eeky. Pushing his face against the side of my head, this brushing softly just beneath my ear. You're so popular. Turn around about 50 shades of red, then let out a sigh. I very much wish someone could have just come put me out of my misery right now. Probably not best to wish that right now. Because trust me, we've already been put out of our misery one too many times. Takes a little while for things to settle down after that. Settle down is even a state the four of us could reach at this point. However, we somehow avoid digressing into further chaos. Perhaps because of the heavy aura of foreboding seeped into our every endeavour as the day continues. Genzo remains irate but quiet, refusing to acknowledge Olim besides a few glares. Gidget, as always, tries to keep our morale up as well as they can. We eat our porridge, continue investigating the premises, and we've already read through all this. Throw a glance at Olim Ollum across the room, who currently is splayed out on the bed and staring up at the ceiling. I flicks instantly to the night prior, danced across the kitchen floor. The way he'd held me, the way his fingers had run through my hair. Cheeks grew warm in spite of myself. And I flipped my gaze back to the door. Thoughts returned to last night, and we already read through this, and we are now going to call Ollum. Scroll down to Ollum's name on the list. That's right. Made my choice. And now I'm going to decide my happiness. Press the thumb to the call button. It immediately starts ringing, and we've already been through this before. I'll show you, disgusting human being, you. Hush, both of you. Gidget brings a finger to their mouth. Okay, so yeah, they're just fighting as usual. I feel like we're being watched. I step just a bit closer to Ollum. I feel strange. More scared than I ever felt in my life. Well, simultaneously, I'm returning, yet we already at place once you found a comfort. I bring a hand to Ollum's shoulder on instinct. Somehow that point of contact helps to ground me, even as my insides feel like they're spiraling. Glances back, cocks a brow, shoots me a shy little grin, almost as if he can read my inner turmoil all over my face. Though it doesn't assuage my anxiety, it does provide me some comfort. Yeah, he's definitely the type to wear his feelings and heart on his sleeve. A small shared connection within the void. Getting lighter now, and we already read through all this. Come on, get your gestures forward. Four of us take off. One shoots me a look of bewildered frustration before grabbing my wrist. Then we're running, careening across the clearing. Barely breathe, barely hear myself think. Force whatever focus I can on simply keeping my legs moving. My eyes trained on almost grip on my wrist. And yeah, we gotta run. But Ollum yanks me out of the way just as it brings the giant hunk of an axe straight down on the ground at our feet. Don't even realize I'm screaming as I fly through the air. Stumble. Then go face first in the ground a few yards away. Still feel the tremors rippling through the earth from the axe's impact. I hug at the ground. Hug at Ollum's arms around me, keeping me pinned. Then try to move, push myself back up, even as my vision shimmies and my ears ring. Ollum pushing me back down, face pressed close to my ear. Would you stay down? Gonna get yourself killed. Voice crackles with a panicked irritation. And then he's leaping back to his feet, knife flashing as he goes charging back towards that thing. Can't bring myself to look. Not while his head is still trying to... while my head is trying to stop spinning. Cool until a thud to my left hones my brain back into focus, and a sure glance towards my side. Genzo. See him hit the ground hard, rolling across the dirt. Got a fresh welt on his cheek, and blood is leaking down the side of his mouth. Throws me a glance. Eyes meet for a moment. Pained. Iggs, stay back, yeah? He winces. Then he pushes himself back to his feet with a grunt, wipes at his mouth, while running back across the grass, screwdriver clenched in his grip. I clench my eyes shut, and intend to push myself to my feet, turn around. You see Gidget screaming, and go hurling towards it. Don't see Genzo leap onto his tail, and don't see Ollum shoot me a glance of half fear, half frustration before racing towards me. Only when his face overtakes my vision do I realize I've fallen. Iggy. What are you screaming at me? Sharp shooting pain radiating from my back. A cold wetness forming on the back of my shirt. What did I tell you about staying down? I lift my head off the ground now. It's spotted at first, hazy outline topped with a blob of orange. But he sharpens into view as I take a grasping breath and feel my lungs expand. I see him giving me a once-over, slice sharp as he attempts to ascertain my condition. Can you move? I wince, tend to move my arms and legs, my fingers. The thing seems to still be working despite the throbbing ache. I think so, I say. Because what else am I supposed to say? Can't be roaring people. Can't be holding people back. If we have any hope of getting through this. Push myself up to a seat, Lorna's head going to my back. His face is stony, though I don't miss the tiny glint of concern in his eyes, blood staining the back of my shirt. I should be fine, I say again. Then, with greater conviction, I'm fine. It's accompanied by another roar, a pained one. Both of us look up to see the beast finally succeed in flinging Genzo off its tail, sending off a shower of blood in his wake. God almighty, hear Olin whisper beneath his breath. Sitting calculating widely in his head, taking every angle, every development of this situation, brows furrowing. Tired of it taking another swing at Gidget, though I must snap him out of it, because he pushes himself back to his feet with a grunt. Do as you're told this time, yes, he snaps. A bit too harsh. Makes me drop my gaze in shame. Must notice this though, because his face softens momentarily. Look, we don't want to lose you. I pause. I don't want to lose you. He averts his gaze. So just stay back. And then he's off again, because there's no other choice. Watch him go charging back into the fray, washing himself onto the back of that thing, bearing his knife straight into the bulging muscle and tissue. I need to get up. So instead I sit and tremble as Orlum attempts to wrap what's left of my hand. Pain feels so distant. Can't decide if it's because, yeah, we already read that, maybe a little both. Lean against Orlum's shoulders as he grumbles none too discreetly about how I should have listened to him and why I'm always going off and doing these things. I mean, he does have a point. Unable to laugh or cry. Gidget is squatting on a boulder across from us, wrapping up their own wounds. Arms are a mess of cuts and bruises. The side of their chin looks swollen. Genzo, meanwhile, is wandering around the clearing. It looks like Genzo is doing it this time instead of Orlum here. The way looking at me and Orlum, I'm unsure. Either way, he seems somewhat melancholic as he meanders across the expanse of grass. Pauses, though, when he seems to notice something. Then he's kneeling down, grabbing something out of sight from within the tuft of green. Once he's made his way back to the group, he shoves it in my face a bit begrudgingly, his gaze pointed away. Here, he said simply. The doll sits limply in his palm, staring up at me with its button eyes. Thought it might be important or something, he continues. I can hear the pound in his voice. I accept the doll gently. Too bad we're going to be ripping up its head in a second. Tattered and wet with blood. And then, yeah, we've already read this about the whole thing. Yeah, a bit crude. While Muse is next to me, his voice low. A sniff. Wipe at the snot leaking down my nose. Yep. Stare down at the door. Stupid door. Feel Orlum's body give a small jolt against me. When I look up, I see Gidget and Genzo staring at me. I sniff again. The head dropped to the grass. And then, yeah. Oh yeah, this one will be definitely different as well. Crap, box. Okay, so your Gidget goes running off. Close circle Genzo grows visibly restless. Ah, shit. No saying out here all by myself. Gee, thanks. He's bolting. Takes off, pulling the other two off into the dark. Are you coming, Iggy? Almost starts to run after him before stopping to glance back at me. Yeah, I stop. Just look at him for a moment. I feel like I got something really important to say, but I just can't. remember. Orlum, I swallow. My gaze drops. I can feel myself start to tremble. It's okay. Huh? I blink back, the water forming once more in my eyes. What's okay? Orlum's lips curl up into a smile. I won't tell anyone if you want to hold my hand. I blink, then a smile. Smile is 1,000 memories, 1,000 moments of heartbreak, of joy, of a love so strong it makes my heart fucking ache. All pass through my thoughts in an instant, forcing tears back down my cheeks. Struggle sheepishly and wipe at my eyes. I guess I can live with that. Then I take his hand. We go running after the others, leaving the forest and our Wonderland behind. Again, what have we got to entail? Are we going to build like a big empire? Or am I go closer in high school, hanging out after school, working on homework and projects together? Look at him, he's so adorable. After all of joining the business professionals of America, he started coming up with all these grand ideas for potential business ventures. He'd always rope me into the back-end side of them, creating websites or drafting out financials. So when we both ended up with scholarships to the same school, it felt natural for us to room together. Though we couldn't have been more different, we complemented each other well. One would get me out of the dorm room, integrating me into some of his circles. I'd be a great listener, acting as an engaged audience whenever he wanted to practice a presentation, or run through a new idea. Oh my god, that is even more adorable. He's trying so hard at it. Might be a sleazeball, but Orlum is my sleazeball. Even when he just wanted a chill night in as a break from his more exuberant lifestyle. Become so accustomed to each other that by the time we graduate, it seemed like a matter of course that we'd find a place together. So we rented a small apartment in Dukan, close enough to downtown that Orlum could commute to his internships, but enough on the edge that I could still enjoy some peace and quiet. We would continue like that for a while, simply living our lives, growing in our own ways. Started working freelance, gradually growing out my client base. While Orlum moved from internships to full-time positions, to finally opening up his own business consultancy agency. I designed his website. Orlum would maintain his reputation as a man about town. We were constantly busy meeting with clients, attending luncheons, and presenting to investors during the day, hitting the bars and clubs at night. I was always bringing back new people to the apartment. But I did notice a sort of change over time. Perhaps it was the way he started giving me a quick peck before heading off for work in the morning. Perhaps it was the first time he introduced me as his Iggy when he'd come back with another woman from the club. Or maybe the way he started automatically including me as his +1 for all his business events and dinners. Or even how he'd start crawling into bed with me on the nights he was alone. Yes, something changed. Perhaps it had always been that way, I just never realized. Probably that. I mean, he is very, yeah, it was misread the situation at hand, but, yeah. To this day, I couldn't tell you exactly what we are. We're two people that care about each other, that love each other, enjoy life together. You know, maybe that's all that really matters. Why do we need to fit ourselves into rules that others have created? We can make our own rules. A life that makes me happy. A life I've chosen for myself. And no one else. I still get the occasional deja vu. A sudden flash of memory. Sometimes so brief and so intense it takes the wind out of me. Other times long and drawn out, filling me with a sense of long-lost melancholy. Hard to know what I've been through, even if my head sometimes forgets. Heart never forgets. All it remembers too. Sometimes we'll be out at dinner and he'll randomly bring up a memory. This is quite reminiscent of. Don't you remember when? My, doesn't this make me feel nostalgic? And I feel I always have to pause a moment. Let the memory fizzle to the surface. Find it there buried within the synapses. But I always do. And then I'll smile. Yeah, I'll say. Even though it doesn't make a lick of sense. Then the two of us will go about our day. Oh, that was a very sweet ending. Quite like that one. Oh my god, look at the little dog. My god, that's fucking adorable. Yeah, well, Olam is a homicidal, cannibalistic maniac. He's my homicidal, cannibalistic maniac. Yeah, I definitely like him, but it's not the only character I like, though. I just want to get to the main menu. Oh, look at us. Cool as hell. We still do have one more ending to get. And that is Genzo's. Hopefully he won't hate us this time. I thought I'd jump instinctively to Genzo. But the moment we shared, the feeling of safety he'd provided, I do feel safe around him. Like nothing could ever touch me. A place of acceptance, where only the two of us matter. Of love? Maybe. Feeling of his arms around me, head against his chest. I feel... God, I don't know. It's all so confusing. Okay, this time we finally get to go talk to Genzo. Pause for a moment, watching the Ikis prepare their bunks, then wander past them to the far wall. Genzo glances up at my approach, as his eyes tired but worried. Looks quite small, all hunkered down on the bottom bunk. I duck slightly to dip my head beneath the slats of the bed on top. Do I need some sort of password to get in? Genzo blinks, then laughs. It does have that vibe, doesn't it? Very secret Ford-esque. All you need is a do not enter sign hanging from the top. Pause for a moment before ducking the rest of the way and crawling up onto the bed. Then tugging my blanket tight around my shoulders and lean back against the cave wall next to him. Cozy in here. I sit for a few moments in silence, gazing out at the Iggies and their nighttime preparation rituals. Can't help but laugh to myself as I watch one of the Iggies on the end lie down, get up, and lie down again and again. Genzo turns his gaze to me, brows furrowing. How are you holding up? I'm okay, a bit sore, but they repatched me up and everything. So at least I'm not bleeding everywhere anymore. At least for... It would take a couple of days and then we'll be back at it again. Genzo grunts, turns back. His eyes look darker than usual, his face soft and dour. How are you holding up? I ask, softly. He blinks. What's that supposed to mean? Take a moment to find my words, careful as they roll across my tongue. We're going to the castle tomorrow. Pause. Imagine that thought can't be comforting after everything. Another grunt from Genzo. Though I can't tell if that's a grunt of affirmation or a grunt telling me to shut up. I just want to get that fucker and get the hell out of here. My gaze fall to my knees. I can feel the question buzzing between my lips. Knowing it's there makes my heart start to thrum. Nervous pangs twist in my gut. Not sure if I can get it out. Oh, I'm definitely fucking asking, cause my nosy little beak wants to fucking know what happened between them. My lips part, which just makes my heart pound even faster. Face feels like it's burning, heart clenching. I push through it all the same. About you, Orlin. God, I said it. I said it. Once I let my lips glance over at him. Face remains unchanged. I continue. What happened between you? He doesn't look at me. Just keeps staring off out into the cave. I see his brows twitch, his jaw clench ever so slightly. Finally he brings a hand up, rubbing at his eyes. Something that shouldn't have. And what's that supposed to mean? You gonna care to elaborate? Put my knees in against my chest, staring down at the pattern of the blanket beneath us. I knew that after what happened with you and me, and bite down on my lip, searching for the words. After the accident, I mean. Kenzo bites down on his knuckle, looking away. He helped you, yeah? Silence. At school? More silence. Because you... Yeah, we got pretty close. I stop. Blink. Kenzo's teeth have practically gone through the skin of his knuckle by this point. I see the glimmer of tears in the corner of his eyes. Doesn't say anything else for a moment. Then... I let him get too close. Brows furrow further. A point that I can barely see his eyes. And then voice catches. Took advantage of that. Don't say anything at first. Just listening to the sound of my breath, the sound of my heart. Yeah, about prom night, yeah. I had it in the back of my mind that something, sexual happened between them. Because I remember Gidget talking to Orlum that particular night. And I guessed it was just about something, and... don't know what to think. It's not like some part of me didn't know, but chill on the inside of my cheek, thinking about them. Don't know how it makes me feel. Strange. Why I can't quite explain. Is it because I feel bad about what happened? About the way Genso treated all? Yes, but also something else. Weird twist in my gut that I've never felt before. Jealousy. Know that feeling all too well. A longing. Hurt. Yeah, wishing it was you instead. Burying my face into my knees, the fabric on my pants rubbed against my lips. Breath leaves a warm, wet spot against my skin. Finally, he really did like you, huh? Yeah. Silence. And I knew it, too. See Genso's lip trembling. Not a good person, Eggs. Yeah, no shit. We all aren't. Haven't you noticed that? He winces. He begins rifling through his pockets, desperately almost. Fuck. Pulls out his cigarettes. Fuck. Places one to his lips. Soon the smoke is drifting around our heads, catching me the top bunk like a darkened rain cloud. Watch the tip of the cigarette bounce up and down between his teeth. Not sure if he'll continue. But a few good long drags he does. I hurt people and I don't care. A miserable arsehole who wants to make everyone around him miserable too. I pause, see his fingers shaking, his eyes straining. I do try. I try to be better. He sniffs, he coughs. But then my mouth will just run away again. Brings his free hand up. Just can't fucking stop it. Pounds his palm against his chin, in time with his words. I grimace as I watch. Shiver despite the blanket around my shoulders. Against his sides, and I see him tap a hunk of ash off the side of his bed. When have I ever brought anything positive to anyone's life, huh? He grunts, takes a long drag, and I watch the smoke billow out across his lips. I'm quiet at first, not saying anything. Just sitting there, fingers running over the gauze on my shoulder, pounding rough against my skin. Then the words slip out, barely more than a whisper. You were the only one. Huh? He glances in my direction for the first time since I sat down. Press my lips together, swallow, then say again a little louder. You were the only one. The only one what? Who accepted me? Genzo looks at me, his cigarette hanging from his lips. For who I am, no questions asked. The water rise to my eyes, but I blink it back. My eyes, my cheeks, my entire face warm to the touch. Anyone who never made me feel guilty, less loved, like something was wrong with me. Tiny tear manages to make it past my emotional barrier, winding its way down my cheek. Brushes away quickly, hoping Genzo hasn't seen it. Even though it was probably hard for you, your voice cracks. Since I figure you must have. Seems to roust against me from his self-deprecating slump just a bit, because he pushes himself up against the wall. Fast forwarding with the usual snap as he grabs his cigarette between his fingers. He must have what? I can't respond. Can't say it. I try, but all that comes out is a strained little squeak as I flap my hands in frustration. Genzo blinks. Then it seems to register. Fuck that noise, he balks. Doesn't matter how many times I've gone off thinking about you. None of that holds a candle to how important you are to me. And just being with you and getting to hold you and it's slow as both of us just look at each other, cheeks an identical shade of crimson. Then he seems to realize what he's saying. Turns away with a jerk and shoves his cigarette back in his mouth. I stared down at my knees, face feeling warm. Cough into my fists, adjust my glasses now mildly foggy. Anyway, you made me really happy, I guess, so in spite of everything, I just wanted to thank you. Genzo wakes his cigarette with a smirk. Yeah, just don't let it get out, though, yeah? All the asexual will be all over me. Come and get your piping hot respect for sexual boundaries or something. Someness of this brings a croaking laugh up through my throat, so fast I nearly choke. Lean forward as a startled half-snort makes its way out of my nose. Tears I'd been trying to hold back squeezing out beneath my eyelids. Genzo's face softens, tiny smile playing on his lips. Taps the ash off his cigarette again before settling back against the wall. Glance over at him. Oh, you know exactly which option I'm going for. There's no holding back. We're going full force on this OTP. There's something about him right now. Leaning back against the wall. Smoke drifting over his head. Maybe it's this cave. Maybe it's the intense battle we went through earlier. Or the rabbits. Or the food. Or the drink. Or the loot of emotions I've just experienced in the last 5 minutes, but all of a sudden I just really want to be close to him. I don't know how to comfort him with my words. how to pay him back for what he did for me back on the Kitty Cruise. Brain doesn't quite work that way, maybe. So without saying anything, shift back a little, pull my blanket up against my shoulders, and... my heart again. I can't take much more of this fucking cuteness. God damn it. Every single one is so wholesome. I feel like that one scene in, Who Stole... Well, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. At the end, where the Grinch's heart grows 3 times larger. That's pretty much my heart right now. It's so cute and wholesome. It's gonna make me fucking cry. Lean over towards him. Shoulder soft against my cheek. Warm. Feeling stiffening just slightly beneath me. You tired, Iggs? His voice cracks. There's some huskiness to it. Guess you had a pretty long day. We all have. I pause. Yeah. You read my mind. Exactly. Gross silence. Nothing but the sound of his breath next to mine. Feeling our chest moving up and down. Just me and him in our tiny little alcove in a cave beneath the ground. There's something incredibly warm about the thought. Safe. For the first time all day, feel the residual tension in my body begin to reside. Eyes flutter closed, then back open, then closed again. So warm. Own little cocoon. Our own little cocoon. The thought brings a flutter to my chest. You fall asleep there, Riggs? Who gets his chest thump beneath me at the words? Vibrates up through my cheek and jaw, a comforting buzz. I didn't realize how tired I am. Everything that happened today finally catching up to me, I guess. Feel my breath slowly. I can feel my breath slowly, yeah. My body growing heavy. Mulled deeper still by the rise and fall against his chest. Something brushes against the top of my head. Warm weight. Against his cheek pressing against my hair. Feel myself fading. Last tendrils of my consciousness starting to drift away. Trickle of breath as Genzo's lips move. One was barely audible against my scalp. My heart can't take any more of this. In me now. I'm already asleep. God damn it, Carrot. Go from breaking my heart with all the sad, depressing shit to this crap that breaks my heart in a completely different direction. I wake the next morning to the smell of something cooking over the fire. A delightful smell that makes the tip of my nose twitch. And, where's Genzo? I start to sit up and stop. Gaze clicks from the view of the cave to the shadow of the overhead bunk to the black-cloaked arm my face is currently buried in. What was the accompanying drool patch so eloquently left on it? Oh. Right. I blink. Genzo is still fast asleep. Quiet snores crackling in the back of his throat. It looks so peaceful. His face soft and droopy. Hair mused across my forehead. Hadn't moved a muscle apparently. So he wouldn't bother my sleep. With a true thought tugs at my heart, and I press my cheek back into his shoulder with an appreciative nuzzle. I feel incredibly warm. Comforting shroud of security wrapped around me like a blanket. We should get up though. Smell of food is making my stomach growl. Genzo, say softly. Nothing. Try again. Genzo? That still doesn't work. Give him a little shake. Jen, wake up. which finally seems to roust him. Fuck. Tell the Queen I'll have it on her desk in the morning. Just with a grimace. Oh, are you some kind of hotshot royal advisor now? This must snap him out of it, because he sits half up with a little jerk, eyes blinking blurry. Oh my god, adorable. Peers out into the cave, down his legs, then over at me. See his eyes widen. Jerks his head away with a cough. Did you sleep well? He asked, his voice low and raspy. I said it with a yawn, shoulders slouching. Good. Very good. Great. Can't keep the tiniest smile from my lips. You, wanna go get some breakfast? That'd be divine. Also some coffee. Something hooked that shit straight up to my veins. I laugh. With only a bit of awkward bumbling, we start over towards the fire pit. It's already up and about, scurrying around and doing, well, who knows what really, but they're quite active. A good number of them around the fire as we approach. Holding half-eaten skewers and drinking from mugs of what looks like coffee, thank fucking God. Once we nab plates for ourselves, we find some empty seats on the other side of the flames. Warm embers delightfully inviting in the crisp morning air. Gizzo is strangely reserved next to me. Chalked it up to morning malice if I didn't keep catching him looking at me, didn't keep noticing his knee touching mine. Soft, almost hopeful smile tugging on his lips. Sends butterflies up through my chest. Not the uncomfortable kind. Warm ones. Happy ones. I eat my breakfast of fried potatoes and eggs in comfortable silence. Okay, of course we're gonna stick by Genzo. Both shaken and shaky. Pain in my wrist has turned into a dull throb that travels up the entire length of my arm. Genzo helps me gently onto the lip of the basin, then starts to move away until I curl my fingers into the fabric of his jacket. His eyes widen at first, then soften. Sits down beside me, fingers warm as he helps me wash the blood off my arm, gentle as he tears off a hunk of fabric from my shirt to wrap it in. Won't do a lot of good, the wound is too deep. The blood didn't get yet congealed. But it will keep me from bleeding all over everything at least. Genzo's brows furrow as he looks at it, his eyes dark with concern. Once he is finished, I take a moment to close my eyes, bask in the quiet darkness. When Genzo puts a hesitant arm around my waist, I don't pull away. Comforting touch, one that stills the tremble on my lips, a flutter in my heart. Genzo takes his time to search our environs. Watch them wander around, and I think, we've already been through all this with the hatch. Yep, find it. Yeah, it'll be tricky, yada yada. Your lips are turning fucking blue eggs. Just a little cold is all. Or on my bare arms. Clothes aren't exactly suited for this kind of environment. Cold water I washed my arm with certainly hadn't helped. Come on, we'll be out of here soon. That we will be. And of course, Genzo again. Not that we could really pick the other ones, but social, yep, well, yada yada, we already been through that. Push myself to my feet with a little wobble, blanket wrapped tight around my arms. Then start for the door. Feels strange, walking through the veil of a dream. Not comprehending anything I'm doing, yet feeling more in control than I ever had in my life. Where are you going? Willem rolls over to blink at me curiously from the bed. I stop. Look at the door. At my feet. Suddenly feel as though I'm being judged. Just need to clear my head. Suit yourself. See him rolling back over to face the wall. He looks incredibly small, curled up on the bed like that. Chewing the inside of my lip, just staring there at a moment. Push the door open and step outside. It's wet outside. It's not the only thing wet. Am I right or am I right? I'm sorry. I was sitting there contemplating whether or not I should say it or not, but fuck it, why not? Going on Genzo's route, so might as well, right? When no longer actively raining, residual sense of moisture continues to cling to anything it can latch onto. Grass, the dirt, leaves, and the trees. In the very air itself, cool and crisp and heavy as it brushes against my cheeks and nose. Pull the blanket tight around my shoulders, still shivering. Genzo is unmistakable even in the dim haze of early dawn. Cat like always acting as a beacon through the darkness. Sitting on a down log a short distance from the cabin. Looked like a paunchy frog all bunched and hunkered over. Cigarette smoking marbles in the air above his head as he attempts to clean the stump of a finger with water from a small bucket. He looks tired. Watch him for a moment, feeling a bit like a ghost in the night, and finally wander over. Hey. Genzo's shoulders jump. He whoops his head up so fast he nearly loses a cigarette. Oh, it's just you. I see him perhaps instinctively try to hide his hand, voicing a laugh as he moves his cigarette to the other side of his mouth. You're gonna catch a cold, you fucking twig. Go back inside. I couldn't sleep. Join the club. Pretty sure all four of us are so traumatized at this point, we'll never sleep again. Probably not wrong about that. I stand there a bit longer, not quite sure what to do. Genzo looks a tad uncomfortable, shitting back as he grabs his cigarette to let out a long plume of smoke. He's still got his right hand tucked against his belly. Finally take a seat next to him, close enough that our shoulders touch. Let me see it. No. Let me see it. Give me a fucking break here, because it's fine. Not fine. Pretending is only making it worse. Genzo mumbles an expletive beneath his explicative beneath his breath, but removes his hand from his hiding spot, balances it on his knee, curling his fingers in and out with a thinly veiled grimace. It doesn't hurt. Like fuck it does. You lost a finger. Yeah, well, I didn't need that one anyway. Who needs 5 fingers, am I right or am I right? I respond to his self-deprecating wisecrack, cradling his hand between mine so I can better observe the damage. A clean chop, at least. I'll give all his nice skills that much. And it stopped bleeding. Blood is congealed into a thin layer of jelly across the stump, dark and clotted. I can only barely see the white of the bone peeking out from the middle. But are we going to, wrap that thing up or something? It's dirty, speckled with dirt and grime, bits and pieces of grit lodged in the gooiness, drawing patterns across his fingers and hand. There are creases. I hold my hand out for the cloth he's been using. Give it. Give it a size, but he does as he's told. Good. Good boy. Dip it in the water and begin softly wiping at the skin. Careful as I work, trying as hard as I can not to irritate the room any more than necessary, though there's only so much I can do. When I had to touch the stump directly to wipe away off the ground and muck, feel Genzo's body tense. He hisses, grumbles another explicative, takes a long drag of his cigarette. Wait for a sarcastic evaluation of my efforts, but none comes. So I keep up my ministrations in silence. Genzo's hand is wide and rough between mine as I work, very different from my own. Where my fingers are long and bony, his are short and thick. Like something else. Am I right or am I right? God damn it. I'm sorry. You're making it way too easy for me to make these jokes. Where mine are pasty and smooth, his are warm and calloused. Let my thumbs trace somewhat instinctively across his palm, and wipe out the streaks of dirt and caked on blood. A strange sense of sadness tugs at my heart. Well, helplessness I've long kept buried inside of me. You should take better care of yourself, whisper as my voice catches in the back of my throat. Oh sure, remember that next time someone else comes at me with a giant cleaver. Just gonna stop you right there. Yes, please, Iggs. Oh, yes please. Iggs said I should take better care of myself, so you'll please refrain from forcibly separating pieces of my body. I didn't mean that. Squeeze my eyes shut for a moment, then blink them back open. You never care about yourself. Can't last at this. Why the fuck should I? Basically a walking, talking sack of shit. At least now I've finally started to correct some of my copious wrongs. Rather than actively hurting anyone, I'm only passively annoying the fuck out of them. That's as close as a win-win as you're gonna get with me. Oh, shut the fuck up. Whistling my mouth before I can stop them. Genzo stills instantly. Eyes go wide, cigarette hanging between his lips as his breath hitches. I feel the telltale sting in my throat as water builds between my eyes. But as hard as I try to ward it off, my unprecedented snap has already opened the floodgates. Trembling renews as the tears begin dribbling down my cheeks. Can't seem to form the words. Stare down against his hand until his fingers blur. Have you thought about how I feel? Swallow hard, voice wobbling tremolo between my lips. Watching you get hurt for me? Another swallow. Watching you die for me? Genzo doesn't say anything. I can hear him breathing, long and slow. I see him blow out another plume of smoke into the air. I don't need you to be my selfless knight. Silence. Just need you. More silence. I open my cheeks with a sniff, blinking until the world clears a bit. Then go back to Genzo's hand, wiping last bits of grime and blood off his knuckles. Once it feels as clean as I can realistically get it, find a cloth. I'll give the cloth a final rinse in the water before gently tying it around the stump, to prevent any further contamination. There, simply say, voice still quivering. Hopefully that should help. Genzo grunts, wriggles his fingers. Cigarette has burned down to the fibre, so he tosses it into the grass, stamping out the remaining embers beneath the toe of his shoe. More silence. Two of us just sitting there on that wet log, shoulders barely touching as we stare down at the grass. Genzo crosses his arms. Hear him let out a long sigh, seasoning bouncing ever so slightly. Iggs, he finally says. Voice crackles with phlegm. I glance over, waiting for him to continue. I can try to be better. Pause. I can try for you. I sit up at this. Back and shoulders going tense. No. Genzo's brows twist in an expression of sheer befuddlement. Then any other situation might have made me laugh. Now it just frustrates me even more. Shake my head, hands digging into the fabrics of my pants. Not for me. For yourself. Iggy, come on. No, Genzo. Stupid fucking tears come back. I grip my teeth so hard I swear I hear my jaw clack. Who was it that told me to think a little more highly of myself? I nearly jumped straight into that I think's mouth, huh? Who was it that slapped some sense into me when I said everyone would be better off without me? Iggs. Cause yeah, I do have a big problem with blaming everything on myself. But at least I don't try to hide all that woe is me stuff behind some big, goofy, tough facade. So that everything thinks that I'm perfectly fine until I'm not. Push the bottom of my fist lightly against his shoulder as I start to crumble. Until you're not, Another punch. Ginzo's mouth is tight. You would never find Ginzo. Stared down the zip of his coat, unable to look at him in the eye. Tears are running rivulets down my cheeks again. Ginzo just stares down at the top of my head. You would never find, and I never knew. Silence. I never knew. Why does it matter? He finally says. Voice sounds hoarse. Who cares if I'm fine? Who cares if I'm not? Now he's getting louder. Voice crackles as it turns sharp. I get by. I always have. But when I hate myself, who the fuck cares? I care, Ginzo. I shout, my throat clogged with phlegm. Why? Ginzo shouts back, equally as vehement. Why the fuck do you care? Because I love you. There's a split second where both of us just stare at each other. And I'm pressing my lips against his. Because it's the only thing I can think of to do. My brain's too shell-shocked by the words coming out of my mouth to process anything else. Heart beating too loudly to allow me to think of anything else. And in that moment, we're back on the bed in that darkened room. We're kissing for the first time. First kiss I'd ever had in my entire life. All the fear and the anxiety and all the sheer hopelessness of our situation disappears. For just a second. Kiss him even as tears and snot leak down my face. As my lips tremble against his. As my fingers cling to his jacket. So I'm about to fly clean away. And only after I realize he's not kissing me back do I pull away. Linked to bat away the tears clouding my vision. Mouth hanging open in apprehension. Ginzo's just staring at me. Eyes are wide as dinner plates. Fresh pool of his own tears gathering in dark bags beneath his eyes. I feel my cheeks start to heat up and jerk my gaze away. Suddenly self-conscious. Sorry. Don't know why I apologize. That's nothing new. I'm always apologizing, aren't I? Pretty much my thing. Tears are running rivers down Ginzo's cheeks now. Brings a hand to my mouth. Holds it there. Sniffs. Clears his throat. Another sniff. Fuck. Seems to be really struggling. I turn back to him with a look of confusion. Fuck. Now he has two hands to his face, rubbing at his eyes and cheeks. Are you okay? I ask quietly. No, I'm not fucking okay, X. Gaze goes skyward as he pulls down on his cheeks in growing mental anguish. I never wipe my nose, watching him struggle. Never thought I'd... Pause. Long choked and hanging in the air. Hear you say that. Something about this brings the colour back to my cheeks, drop my gaze. Oh. Now both of us are just staring down at the bucket of water. Crying like a couple of love-struck losers without the emotional maturity to comprehend their feelings. Hey, at least we're maybe crying enough tears to be able to fill another bucket full. So we don't need to go fetch ourselves another bucket of water, eh? I mean, hell I am. Well, because we kind of are. Okay, let's go. Did you mean it? I sniff. Still not looking at him. Yeah. I see. Starts bumping the side of his fist against his nose. Clasp my hands. Unclasp them. Start picking at my thumb. I know that we have no idea what's going to happen, or if we're ever going to make it out of here, but I guess I wanted to make sure that you knew that no matter what we... I love you too. I blink. The light's over. Genzo has his hand over his mouth and is staring so intensely at the ground, I'm surprised he doesn't light the grass on fire. Cheeks have turned a brilliant shade of red. Tiny smile forms on my mouth. Oh, my face. Yeah, I know. Genzo glances at me, clenches his hands to his face again. What's wrong? Bringing my hands up in a panic. Pulls his hat down over his eyes, all the way over his mouth, and starts gnawing on it like some kind of rabid chipmunk. No, you're fucking adorable, right? Genzo? I really don't know what to do. The complexity of a man in love for 20 plus years are apparently lost on me. I don't know what to do. Genzo's half muffled through the fabric of his hat. Why? And then, so soft I can barely even hear him. I think my heart exploded. How do you think I fucking feel with going through all these goddamn fluffy endings? God damn it. God damn you, Carrot. God damn you. It exploded. I grip his shoulders in abject terror for all of 5 seconds. Then realize he has been facetious. Feel my muscles unclench themselves one by one. Sit back. Oh, right. After a few minutes, he finally pulls his hat all the way off, clutching it between his hands. You're so cute, he mumbles. His gaze still pointed downwards. No, you. This lights a fire behind my cheeks. Run a hand clumsily through my hair. Genzo clears his throat. Shifts a bit. They're trying to reassert whatever dignity he has left. See him glance at me, his face soft. Can I kiss you again? By all means, go ahead. Like, all proper and shit. Oh, sure. Turned towards him, feeling very much out of my element despite my earlier assertion. Proper? What does proper mean? Slinging one of my legs over the log and scooch closer, fingers clutching at the damp bark between us. That laugh again. Can't quite tell if it's at me or at himself, or the situation in general. Just makes me even more flustered. Till his hand finds my cheek. His palm is soft against my skin. My eyes follow just ever so slightly closed. Because it's warm. So fucking warm. Genzo speaks again. I hear the tears return to his voice. I love you so fucking much, Iggs. Then he kisses me. I like to wax poetic, but about how it feels, by the way he pulls me close, about the way my heart seems to swell about 5 times the size of my chest, or in my chest. Even about the way his fingers and toes suddenly don't feel like they belong to me anymore. Some weird floaty tingling appendages attached to a weird floaty tingling mass that's my body pressed up against his. But never been much one for words, nor feelings, or words about feelings. So you'll just have to trust me that in that moment, didn't feel one single bit cold. God damn it, Carrot. Kind of really hit us with the 1-2 punch there. I don't know why that got me so emotional. I mean, I guess I've always been a hopeless romantic, but Jesus Christ. Ugh. There's a reason I wanted to do this one last. God, why? Don't stay up much longer after that. Guess flustered confessions are kind of put into a serious conversation. That gives a fervent assistance that my fingers are definitely turning blue, and even if we're all gonna die soon anyway, not about to let me get pneumonia on this watch. Once I don't really care how morbidly sarcastic he's being. 'Cause that's, well, getting so. So I let him usher me back inside. Back over to the stove. We go 3 for 3! We already did 1 for 2 punches and... I need to go fucking punch a wall or something. Maybe feel something else. God damn it. Why are you making this so hard for me to not cry again? I already cried enough with this game. Don't even complain when he won't stop looking at me. Because I don't want him to stop. Don't want him to ever stop. Fingers curl around mine. Like, hold on one moment, just gonna compose myself. Okay, I think I'm good. Fingers curl around mine, like an anchor keeping me ashore. My forehead finds the shoulder. Own safe little cocoon. Where there aren't any expectations. No judgment. Just love. Stop doing this. Get back in there, Tears. Get back in there. Hold together until the end of the game. You can do it. Just love and acceptance. A warmth that fills me up from the inside out. My warmth. I need you. I've always needed you. Genzo's fingertips trace my cheek. And his lips press against my forehead. God damn it, stop being so fucking cute! Let myself drift off to sleep. For once, not worrying about what morning may bring. You're just being ridiculous. No, I'm not being ridiculous. Being rational and conscientious. I'm not wearing those. What are you trying to make Orlum wear exactly? And I'm not carrying you 20 minutes when you complain about your feet. They are vile and grotesque. You're vile and grotesque. He does have a point. Well, at least I don't resort to childish denigration. Shake my head, crack my eyes open. Sun is filtering in through the far window and casting long shadows across the cabin floorboards. Morning already? Feel like I slept about 5 minutes. Face is pressed against the crook of Genzo's arm so snugly. I can practically feel the creases that have formed across my cheek. I resort to whatever I need to ensure we make it out of here in one piece. Then you are wearing your oafish foot accordments. Don't know what that is supposed to be. Or the oafish, that's what. Oh, I swear to God, I am. Put myself up to a seat, which prompts the two standing by the table to halt their discourse. Hawk waketh night pale maiden, full and bright. Yes, good morning to you too, Orlum. Iggy? Vicious voice sounds slightly strained. You're up. I blink, then reach frantically for my glasses. Quickly donning them and squinting back up at the sun backdrop visages of my companions. Sleep well? Audible smile in Orlum's voice becoming visible. For a second, my sleep out of mind attempts to make heads or tails of the conflicting tones coming coming at me. I glanced down at Genzo, currently splayed out on his back and snoring loudly at the ceiling. Oh, right. I was cold, I simply say. Surely the rate I can feel fast tracking its way onto my cheeks is enough to complete the story. Yes, I suppose that would be one thing he's good at. He's been quiet for once too. Doubly blessed then. Rabbits has seen paradise by the dashboard lights. Hey, I see what you did there. Also a very good song, by the way. It's fine, Iggy. We just didn't want to wake you. Right. Scratch idly at my arm, not practically enjoying my current moment in the spotlight. I found porridge in the cupboard. Gidget holds up a built-up sack as though lifting a prize trophy. You want some? Thought I'd make it once we're all up and about, since we still need to figure out the door we're in all. Pause, or wherever it is we need to go next. Sure, that sounds fine. Staring down at my legs, I glance back when I don't get a response. Gidget is just looking at me. I feel a sort of restrained sadness in the gaze. God damn it, can't poor Iggy catch a break? Like, everybody fucking wants a piece of him, but come on, get over it. You and all of them can have a makeup thing or whatever. But I quickly shake it away. Right, I pack the sack. Right, I'll get started on it. Watch them head towards the cupboard in search of utensils. Then let my gaze drop back to Genzo, still fast asleep. Long tendril of drool has worked its way out of his mouth and is currently dangling off the side of his lips. Press my lips together to keep from smiling. Memories from last night would early this morning be a better descriptor. Colored both my thoughts and cheeks. I instinctively curled my knees in towards my chest, momentarily lost in thought. I only jerk out of it when I notice all of them just standing there and staring at me. Can't you just go and be a greasy slime ball somewhere else? We're having a moment here. What? I freeze in places that I'd been caught with my hand in a cookie jar. Or the brown sugar Tupperware, as was my case when I was little. Oh, don't mind me. Can a connoisseur not appreciate the arts? Oh, fuck off. Come on, can't you just go jerk off somewhere else? Don't need you to be here. Connoisseur my butt. I can feel the warmth rise to my face. Well, go get some water. Well, grimaces, but does as he's told. Thank you, Gidget, for saving my butt. Yes, dear. Starts for the door. And where are the boots? Can we get a look at them, please? He stops. Grimaces again. And begrudgingly dons the old tattered pair of boots that had been sitting by the door. Yes, dear. I'm enjoying that a little bit too much. Grabs one of the buckets off the pile and goes clomping out the door. Watch him go, not moving for a few moments. Then eventually turn back to Genzo's sleeping form. What I would give for this to be in my apartment. My bed. Just woken on a Sunday morning. There's zero reason for us to get up. I could just curl back up beside him, turn to sweet bliss asleep. That's not reality. Reality is far too cool for that. Oh god, isn't that fucking true? So I leaned down and softly traced the side of his cheek with my finger. Jen? Jen's nose twitches. Mumbles something, and now I'm becoming snort. Then creaks his eyes open. Hey, he says softly. Hey, I say in return. Hey, porridge coming through. I need the stove, people. Gidget steps around us, a large pot in their hands as they attempt to reach the stove top. Jerk back and out of the way, promptly falling on my butt. As next to me, Genzo groans and slowly pushes himself to a seat. Guess I can make my way for food, Genzo yawns, wiping blurrily at his face. Yeah, the breakfast bulge and all that. Gidget turns beneath their breath as they start messing with the burners. Do the blankets while you're at it. Not about to trip and break a leg while providing the group with sustenance of all things. Aye, aye, Captain. Genzo starts gathering up the straw and upholstery littering the floor. Take this opportunity to push myself up to my feet, stretching out the kink in my back as I take in the tint of the morning sun on the hardwood floor. For having been nothing but a place of nightmares leading up to this, there's something quite soft about it now. Yeah, at least we've gotten quite a lot of good memories out of this little cabin before, we had to go deal with Box. And maybe it's just because of what happened between Genzo and I last night. Maybe it's the sheer fact that all four of us are here, waking up, making breakfast. And sure, perhaps getting along isn't the right term, but at least we're not actively trying to murder each other. Either way, something about this sight soothes me. If only for this moment. Things feel at peace. A respite before the storm. Before my venture out to make our party whole again. Bring this saga to a close, one way or another. As I lay my hand full to the back of one of the chairs, as I take it all in. Breathe in, breathe out. Yo, does this place have a kaibo? Don't know what that is. 'Cause I gotta take a massive shit right now. Oh, toilet. Right. Please just do it preferably outside, 'cause we don't need you stinking up the place. 'Cause that's disgusting. What the fuck? Hey, as a wise man once said, when you gotta go, you gotta go. I mean, it's not the grossest thing we've had to deal with, so get your panties out of a twist. Bring a hand to my mouth, cheeks warm as I chuckle beneath my breath. At least some things will never change. And I hope they don't change for the best. Or for the worst, I should say. Right, okay, throw a glance at Genzo across the room. He's currently sitting on the floor with his back against the bottom of the bed, staring open mouthed at the ceiling like some kind of fish. Cheeks grew warm in spite of myself. Flip my gaze back to the door. Thoughts returned to last night. Desperate feeling of needing someone to talk to. That went against every instinct I felt. And with that, we're gonna call Genzo. Scroll down to Genzo's name on the list. That's right. Made my choice. Now I'm gonna decide my happiness. Press my thumb to the call button. And with that, we go back to saving Box again. I step just a bit closer to Genzo. Feel strange. More scared than I ever felt in my life. Or simultaneously like I'm returning. Okay, we already read all this. Bring a hand to Genzo's shoulder. Texture of his jacket helping to ground me, even as my insides feel like they're spiraling. I see him glance back. Shoot me a look that's not quite a smile and not quite not. Shared connection within the void. Getting lighter now. Come on, get your chest forward and the four of us take off. Genzo across my wrists, pulling me along even as my knees threaten to get beneath me. Then we're running. Craning across the clear. Could barely breathe, barely hear myself think. And yeah, we've already read through this. Eyes trained on Genzo's grip on my wrist. And yep. Well, Genzo's grip tightened around my waist. Tighter. And that sadness. That deep, longing despair. But Genzo yanks me out of the way just as it brings that giant hunk of an axe head straight down on the ground at my feet. Don't realize I'm screaming as I fly through the air. And stumble. Then go face first into the ground a few yards away. Yeah, we already read through this. Hug Genzo's arm around me, keeping me pinned. Try to move, push myself back up, even as my vision shimmies and my ears ring. Genzo pushes me back down. face pressed close to my ear. Iggs, stay down! I can hear the quiver in his voice, a slight hitch in the back of his throat. And then he is leaping back to his feet, screwdriver yanked from his pocket as he goes charging back towards the thing. Can't bring myself to look. Oh, my head is still trying to stop spinning. So I do what I'm told, shakily crawling in the dirt to try and put some distance between myself and those horrifying tremors. Don't see Gidget scream. Okay, we already read through all this again. Don't see Genzo racing towards me, stumbling to the ground next to me. Only when his face overtakes my vision do I realize I've fallen. Iggs! Body is screaming at me. Sharp shooting pain radiating from my back. Cold wetness forming in the back of my shirt. Iggs! Fuck! Lifting my head off the ground now. Fuzzy at first. Hazy outline topped with a blob of black. But it sharpens into view as I take a gasping breath and feel my lungs expand. Talk to me, Iggs. Oh, I wince, tending to move my arms and my legs, my fingers. Everything still seems to be working despite the throbbing ache. I'm okay, I say, because I have to be. Have to be if we're going to get through this. Pushing myself up to his seat, gets his hand going to my back. Face is contorted in fear. Like, hey, really? I say again. It's accompanied by another roar, a pained one. Both of us look to see Olden sinking his knife straight into one of the thing's claws. Sends out a cascade of blood that saturates the grass. God, fuck. Yeah, Genzo whispered beneath his breath. For a moment, he seems to be lost in shock. The sight of it taking a swing at Gidget, though, must snap him out of it, because he pushes himself back to his feet with a grunt. Gotta help, he says with a grimace. Blood stains his front and neck. See where the claws are torn through his shirt, deep gashes that ripped open the skin. Stay down. And he's off again, because there's no other choice. Watch him go charging back into the fray, launching himself at the thing's tail and burying the point of his screwdriver straight into the bulging muscle and tissue. I need to get up. So instead, I sit and tremble as Genzo attempts to wrap what's left of my hand. I guess it's time to finally return that favor, eh? Pain feels so distant. Okay, yeah, we've already read through this. Then against Genzo's shoulder, as he makes a joke about how I'd just done this for him the night before. Hey, again, reading my mind. Unable to laugh or cry. Kids are scoring on a boulder across from us, wrapping up their wounds. And arms are a mess of cuts and bruises, and the sides of the chin swollen. Yeah, and then again, we've already read through this, so skipping past all this. If you'll let me. Don't take your latent homicidal tendencies out in the poor door, legs. Too late for that. Genzo laughs, the movement rocking me up and down against his shoulder. I sniff. And stared down at the doll. Stupid, stupid doll. And then, yeah, we rip it off. Jesus. Back into the real world we go. But yeah, so we got Gidget going after them, then Orm leaves. Okay. Come on, Iggs. Get some motions for me. Turns to do the same. Wait, I step forward, instinctively grabbing his wrist. Then we both just stand there, looking at each other. I feel like I have something really important to say, but I just can't remember. Genzo, I swallow. Gaze drops. I feel myself start to tremble. So it's okay, Iggs. I know. You do? I blink back, the water forming once more in my eyes. You know what? Genzo shoots me a cheeky grin. That you're afraid of the dark? I blink, then smile. Then everything comes back to us once again, and for one final time. chuckle sheepishly at my eyes. Yeah. Then I take his hand. We go running after the others, leaving the forest and our Wonderland behind. God, what a thing to come to. Genzo confessed to me after prom. Fuck yes, let's go Genzo. You go get him. God damn it, Iggy. God damn it. What a way to ruin the fucking mood. I, being me, became a bit overwhelmed. Oh my god. Not with the cuteness again. My one fucking weakness. God damn it. A week later, however, I managed to pull myself together and give him a response. Iggy, my heart can't take anymore. It's already battered and bruised enough as it is. This like straight out of an anime. I didn't say it was a good response. Hey, it's good enough for me and my overwhelmed heart. At any rate, we started dating after that, mostly that shy, nervous kind of thing. But it continued even after I left for college. Genzo calling me almost daily to yap about this or that. He also visited on occasion, braving a long-distance bus to spend the weekend with me. Then led to me figuring out some things out about myself sooner rather than later. Fortunately, Genzo ended up being fine with it. Though, part of me always kind of knew he would be. We'd experimented a lot with boundaries after that. To the point that it became a kind of recurring joke between us. Sometimes I'd be okay with more, sometimes I'd be okay with less. But never once would he ever make me feel guilty or judged, or that he expect anything of me. Even when my boundaries would change wildly from one day to the next. After Genzo opened his shop, he asked if I would ever consider, potentially, just a maybe, only if I really wanted to, of course, moving in with him. I don't think there's going to be much of my heart left after this. Told him I'd consider it. Immediately. After that, we kinda just settled into life. Genzo worked at his shop. I started working freelance. Between the two of us, it's never been too hard to make bills. Even if we both occasionally have our dry spots. That's what she said. Even helped Genzo get his own site online with a digital ordering system. Oh, cool. We helped him a lot with the back-end side of things. And he was able to stock a large supply of bike parts and tools for sale, which helped him bring in a bit more business. Sometimes I'll bring in my laptop and work out of his back office. I selfishly find the sounds of his shop a bit comforting. Ours isn't a fancy life, an exciting life, nor a romantic one. But it is our life. A life that makes me happy. A life I've chosen for myself. No one else. I still get the occasional deja vu. Sudden flash of a memory. Sometimes so brief and so intense it takes the wind out of me. Other times long and drawn out. Filling me with a sense of long-lost melancholy. Heart knows what I've been through. Even my head forgets sometimes. Heart never forgets. Genzo remembers too. Sometimes we'll be doing something and he'll randomly bring up a memory. Hey, remember when... Doesn't this remind you of... Shit, this is just like... And I always have to pause a moment. Let the memory fizzle to the surface. Find it there buried deep within the synapses. But I always do. And then I'll smile. Yeah, I'll say. Even though it doesn't make a lick of sense. Then the two of us will go about our day. that's it. That's the final ending. We got our own little dolls. It's cute. Yeah. What's the main menu gonna be like? Oh, cute. That's the end. I don't want it to be over, even though it fucking hurt me and fucking destroyed me. Mostly emotionally, Jesus Christ. But my god, has this game had a fucking chokehold on me. I have not been able to stop thinking about this game, even when I go to bed. And like the month and a half that I was gone because my fucking computer broke, all I could think of was the damn game, even though it was fucking destroying me. And I still can't get over the fact that this entire thing is free. You can get this game for free over on itch.io. So, like, please, go and support Carrot and, you know, support them, because, my god, this game is fucking fantastic. I'm just like Iggy, I don't know how to express emotions very well, and words don't come to me easily. But, I think I pretty much said all I've said throughout the walk, or through my playthrough anyway, but yeah, even though all the characters definitely had their flaws, some more so than others, and yeah, they definitely had a lot wrong with them, but I mean, that's a part of being human. You can't be perfect. Nobody's perfect, and I guess there's always something quote-unquote wrong with you, whether it be like hurtful things you said in the past, or maybe actions you done in the past, like with Genzo kind of strung Orlum along, or kind of Orlum being a little bit of a sleazeball, and whatnot. And yeah, sometimes we can kind of be a shit friend, whether we mean it to or not. Kind of like in Iggy's situation, where he kind of said things and then regretted it later, like how he treated Gidget, and kind of how he kind of went along with how kind of what's the word for it? Kind of, I guess, went with the flow, just to pretty much be a people pleaser, try and make the group as a whole happy, even if it meant like leaving Orlum out, for example, or you know, that sort of stuff. And I hate to admit this, but I was definitely in Iggy when I was about his age, younger, and even in my early 20s. Yeah, sucks thinking back on that and going, oh shit, yeah, I was that friend, wasn't I? Because, yeah, I've definitely said my fair share of shit that I definitely regretted later. And also, again, pretty much exactly like Iggy, I had trouble communicating. Sometimes I don't know how to put things into words, and it's definitely led to some very awkward and maybe avoidable situations. And also being the people pleaser, trying to make everybody happy at the expense of even just yourself, type of thing. But yeah, you definitely learn the hard way that, yeah, it's not possible. You can't ever make everybody happy. There's always at least one person that's always gonna hate you, no matter what you do or say, or how nice you are. Or you can jump over as many hoops as you want, but they're not gonna like you. And that took a lot longer than it should have for me to figure that shit out. But yeah, that was our Wonderland, and what a fucking amazing fucking game. As soul destroying as it was. But, God, I'm gonna miss this game. Yeah. Man, I want to go and experience this game all over again for the first time. Maybe I'll come back to it. I mean, not with this main game, but I know there's still a handful of other side stories that I haven't played yet, so I might be coming back to them later, or probably sooner, because I know I'm gonna miss this game, and I know I'm gonna miss the characters, because by God have I fucking missed them. But yeah, that's finally gonna end it here, and I'm gonna go find myself a corner, or perchance a bathtub like Genzo at the start of this arc 4, and go curl up and cry a bit, because my God, I fucking needed that after this hell of an experience.